It's time to wake up. Kincade and Salciunas is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
And the undefeated season is still alive for the Philadelphia Phillies, who opened up the 2026 regular season yesterday with a win over the Texas Rangers, 5-3. Johnny, I know you were doing some teaching duties yesterday.
I got the kids out.
That's a great move by you.
I got them out by the second inning. They were out by the second inning.
That's good.
But the Schwarbombs,
unfortunately, missed.
No. You see, this is where Anthony and some of the other kids in the class betrayed themselves by, like everybody's focused in and everything.
There was a Hulu has live sports on a lap somewhere.
Let's just say that I knew that they knew, and the minute it happened, I got a rundown that there was a Schwarbomb. So, let's just say...
in fairness, they're helping you out with your job.
That's the way
this is your full-time job. They're helping you.
Now you know that I can tell that you're a con man, just like they all are.
Damn right,
That's why I know that they're training well to join
in this position.
That's how I know they're well to train our industry. What a wonderful day, though. What a wonderful day of weather. What a wonderful day of energy. And it's so stupid because of 1 of 162 means so much. But it does mean so much.
Yeah, it absolutely
really does.
It's a good start to the season. It's fun, even though we will get into a conversation about people are going to lose their minds this year. But getting to the ballpark yesterday, I was there around 1:30 yesterday. Walked the fans weren't pouring in yet, so I was able to just walk the concourse and take in the sights and the sounds, and then breathe in the smells, and then I did some of the stuff. Went down to the field, went up to the press box, shook hands, kissed babies. Johnny, when I left, because I had to leave before the game to get Coop, the amount of Phillies fans that were ready to go, because the weather was beautiful, everybody was fired up, and there was, at least I didn't see what the paid attendance was yesterday, but I imagine
44 and change.
I imagine. Dude,
standing room only. The only thing that matters is this. The changes is the standing room only numbers. Right. I'm sure that they were huge yesterday.
Oh my God, and everybody was just in a good mood, which is great. And then they win the baseball game, which makes things even better, Johnny.
It was unbelievable, and it was great. And what is so much fun is that there's so many different layers to every game. And we joked about it yesterday is, okay, boys, now the daily content is created by one team, because the Eagles give you content, and the Eagles give you content a lot of times by off-field stuff and press conferences and things like that. The Phillies give you content all summer long because of action.
Yeah.
And spring action. And this team has so many different ways that they can give you that content. And yesterday, we saw it in a lot of ways. We saw it in power. We saw it in pitching. Mm-hmm. We saw it in a little maybe a guy who's not ready for prime time out of the bullpen. And we saw it in a lot of different ways.
And I blame one person for it.
The backpack has been suspended.
Connor Thomas. Premature nickname.
Yes.
Even though I also am excited about Kyle Backus. Like, I will stand by your side that I'm excited about the Backus because he's got the left-handed, the sidearm. Like, I am intrigued. But you gave him a premature nickname. The guy had not pitched an inning or a pitch for the Phillies, and then he gives up a bomb to Jake Berger, who I put out a tweet before the game. I was watching Texas Rangers batting practice. That dude is a mammoth of a human being. That guy, you can't make a mistake to that guy. And what do you know? He's another Marlin that they're like, we're not going to pay this guy, and he's going to go elsewhere. And he just mashes the baseball. If you make mistakes, he's not the greatest hitter in the world, but if you make mistakes, and Backus put one right down the pipe, and he paid for it.
Yeah, it was a look. It's a wonderful day to wake up and say, hey, you won the opener. And you want the storylines to start because the negative Nancys are lining up to just be like,
So let's get there, Johnny, because there were negative Nancys yesterday. We are going to lose our minds this year, more so than previous years.
Are we, or are you saying the collective we of Philadelphia?
The collective we of Philadelphia.
Because we've made, I think the three of us are all on the same page. We are trying that we are not.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. Have you ever gone on social media and you've seen so much that you lost your mind just by reading it?
Yes. I told you.
That's going to happen as well.
I always tell you, Flyers Twitter does that to me. Flyers Twitter, more than any Twitter in town, does that to me. It just, I shake my head at stuff that I read, stuff that I hear people proclaim as fact.
Yeah.
What they think they know. Flyers Twitter does that to me. I try not to let it get to that point where it's going to ruin my enjoyment of something.
So what I would rather do today is focus on the good from yesterday. We'll get to the not so, and we'll get to some of the responses or tweets that I saw and that you saw and that Connor saw on social media, because believe it or not, we reacted to this game as if this was week 1 of the Eagles season and not one of 162. But I would rather take away the great things that happened yesterday, like Christopher freaking Sanchez, who just walks out on the mound and goes, yeah, I'll give you 6 solid innings. Oh, 6 shutout innings. I'm only going to give up 3 hits, and 2 of them will be in the first inning, and then I'm only going to allow 1 the rest of my outing, and I'm going to strike out 10 in the process.
He had them, and it seems as if he had them, all the swinging and missing was coming later, too. It got stronger.
Yeah.
He got craftier as it went along, which is spectacular.
No, it was fantastic.
He is just, that's what you want. He's been your best pitcher. If you look at 24-25 as a collective, he was your best starting pitcher. And now he is saying, look, I've ascended and I want to be there. So that way, a guy like Wheeler, who is a spectacular pitcher.
Absolutely.
You could have a double-headed ace, which is wild.
Jake Berger, the player I just mentioned, first baseman of the Rangers, hit the home run off of the Bacchus yesterday. He spoke after the game on Christopher Sanchez. I think we saw why he was a runner-up in Cy Young last year. His changeup has the same shape and tightness to the ball as his sinker. He gets guys off balance really easy with that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done against him. Obviously, he's an ace. He's a bona fide superstar in the game. Now, Christopher Sanchez is one of those guys where, like, sometimes I have to remind myself how freaking good he is because he doesn't have the cachet. Remember, he didn't make the All-Star team last year. They gave it to the kid because they're trying to grow the game.
Yes.
So they gave it to Mizorowski. Remember, I wasn't totally against what Major League Baseball was doing. It was though it was against what Christopher Sanchez deserved. Christopher Sanchez deserved to be an all-star last year. Christopher Sanchez does not get the recognition of a Paul Skeens, right? Or tomorrow we'll watch Jacob deGrom pitch for the Rangers. He doesn't get that same recognition where he's like a lead story in SportsCenter. But the people that cover baseball point out how good this guy is, and sometimes I have to remind myself, this dude's a freaking stud. A stud. A guy called him a superstar after 1 start in 2026.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's there's an embarrassment of riches in a lot of areas for this team. So, a lot of things to be excited about.
Absolutely. How about being excited about a rookie making his debut yesterday?
I think that was the thing I was most excited about.
Justin Crawford, 2 for 4, scores a run yesterday. It was on the home run by Kyle Schwarber. And the base hit, the first hit, was on the very first pitch. He didn't want to wait a second. He saw a fastball, he swung, boom, right up the middle, base hit, and right away you go, all right, this guy belongs. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to hit 500 this year, but he belongs in Major League Baseball. Maybe could have been up here last year and helped the team, but...
Yeah, well, the Phillies like to, really age their wine. The cheese.
Well, you saw Middleton drinking it.
Yeah, you got to make sure that everything is kept to that. I just was so happy for him. And what I really loved was jumping on like the first pitch. Jumping on like not coming up there. He was ready to attack. And I'm sure some of that comes from just you're the son of a major leaguer and you are, you're prepared for the moment. I think that's what I'm most excited about. Because I've been waiting to have young talent come up here, ascending talent, and pencil it in.
Yeah.
148 games of him.
That's the best
Something
part.
like that.
Pencil in, set it, and forget it. He plays center field for the Philadelphia Phillies. There's no more, we're going to give Marsh a chance, and then like 3 games into the season, you play Johan Rojas. Oh, we're going to do a rotating door of Roman Quinn and this guy and that guy. No, it's Justin Crawford. Rob Thompson's job got even easier. Justin Crawford plays center field almost every single day this year. You know that he's going to field the position well. Got a little bit of a misread on one ball that went to the wall in center field, but he'll get comfortable with the ballpark. That was his very first game at Citizens Bank Park, and it was still a good hit. It's just he misread it a little bit, but he'll figure that out. His bat's not going to be Roman Quinn, Johan Rojas, where you could tell overmatched, not going to be able to cut it in Major League Baseball. He's going up against Nathan Eovaldi, who had a 1.70 ERA last year. And he's getting a hit on his very first pitch that he sees in his debut. That's a great sign. And because he can just bat ninth, like you're not asking him to bat first or second. You're asking him to bat ninth.
I was thinking, too, is that's the biggest benefit, is just saying, how does he open up the top of the lineup by contributing something steady at the bottom of the lineup? Because if he can get on base and potentially steal a couple bases, what does that do for Turner? What does that do for Harper? That's the exciting part of it, is just the lengthening out of this lineup, but really sort of creating for the top of the lineup. I'm excited for it. The kid seems very charming too. I'm very looking forward to getting a chance to talk to him.
Yeah. Oh my God, absolutely. Then there's Schwarber. You mentioned it. The students were already letting you, even though they were fully locked into class.
Oh, they were fully locked into our interviewing lesson.
He just picked up right where he left off. Home run. He's now off. He's 41 home runs away from hitting his over, because somehow his over-under is only 41.5. John and I were doing on post-show headlines. Check it out every day after the show on YouTube. We were trying to figure out what his over-under was, and I think your guess was 40.5. And
I said 40.5.
You're right there. It's 41.5.
Which surprised us both.
Because that's a 16 home run fall off if the under hits.
Didn't seem that number seems stupid.
Yeah, like, okay, if he gets dinged up, sure.
But I think that is what Vegas does try to take into consideration sometimes, as they go, come on, this guy's been really, really healthy. Is he going to be healthy? Is that going to – or they take into consideration, do people believe he's going to get dinged up at some point?
Sure. I think it's more that he set a major league record for left-on-left home runs last year.
Could be.
It's like, can you replicate that? Nobody in the sport's ever hit that many. So that's going to knock down his total. But I don't –
But 16 home runs,
but 16 is a big
fall off.
That's a big drop off.
I don't disbelieve in anything with Kyle Schwarber. All he does is hit home runs consistently.
You know what? He's great, dude. You mentioned he doesn't miss much time. Played 155 games in 2022, regular season, and then all the playoff games. 160 in 2023, 150 in 2024, all 162 last year. Now, the benefit is he plays DH, but, hey, if he's mashing home runs, I'm pencil him in every single day.
Get him out there.
He doesn't get tired. Like, just let him freaking swing the bat.
Yeah, let him swing the bat and do what he does, and that's great. And the fans. Now, I had a impromptu. I asked two people that were in attendance to give me a impromptu. Who were the cheerleaders as far as the reception? And it seemed as if Christopher Sanchez, but it was of the starters. It seemed as if Schwarber was clearly
he's the fan favorite, man.
He's the fan favorite. That he was. It was wild for
Ball
Schwarber.
go boom.
And
like fans say yay. Like it's easy, man.
People were excited for him.
And then of course, ball go boom late. Or ball go boom, maybe I should say. Alec Bohm hits a home run opening day, as predicted. That I told you. I believe he's going to have a power surge early on.
You did say you'd have a power surge
I think he's going to try to do whatever he can to get paid. Like paid, right? And the only thing that's keeping him from getting one of those big contracts in Major League Baseball is the home run numbers. Nobody says he can't hit.
But you don't think he was trying to do stuff like that last year and other years? Or like that's what I thought. I heard people saying this yesterday. I'm like, you don't think he's been trying to hit home runs?
No, I think he was very comfortable playing baseball the way that got him to Major League Baseball. And that's fine. But he's trying to make a big contract, right? So if he's trying to make a big contract, the one thing that we all talk about, whether it's me, who's one of the bigger critics, or one of the number one fans of Alec Bohm, is that he doesn't hit the ball for power.
Okay.
If he adds the home run, and we're saying 25, like
if he gets to 20, it's a big deal.
He's getting paid like big time because his batting average, and again he played a good third base yesterday. So it's a big home run. So he could shut guys like me up if he continues to hit for power. I just hope that he doesn't overdo the swing a little bit, and then he gets into a bit of a lull. And
he usually gets that
happens in baseball.
He usually is going to miss some time. He's going to, he's going to pull a muscle. He's going to pull a rib cage muscle. He's going to, maybe going to throw somebody off a boat during, the All-Star break.
Or he might have
to miss time.
Or he might have to miss some time in the court of law, unfortunately, which we will get to later on in the show because that was a tough story.
It's an
to find
awkward
out.
story.
Yeah, really, really awkward.
The trade-off thing is interesting. We saw it last year with Trey Turner, where his power numbers went down a little bit because he
Average
does have
went up.
more pop, but the average went up because they talked to him ahead of the season. We're like, hey, we need you to be an average guy. I would take Alec Bohm hitting 260 as a career 278 hitter,
Right.
if that leads to more home runs, considering he's batting cleanup right now.
Yeah, my biggest thing that I always say about Bohm is that he does not provide fear to a pitcher. They go, all right, make a mistake, he's going to hit a single, right? Like, he doesn't try to lift the baseball. And again, to his credit, it has led to an all-star game. It has led to a very good start to his career. It's going to lead to him getting paid. It's just, is he going to get one of those lucrative deals? If he's not driving the ball, he's not going to. But if he does that, he's going to get paid. And, oh, by the way, it helps the Phillies out. If your four-hole hitter, which has been one of the biggest issues for this team over the last couple of years, can actually provide some power. And the power then helps out Bryce Harper, we think.
Does it?
So yesterday, as I mentioned,
By the way, Luke,
we're going to lose our minds.
Now, you were there.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that it was.
I was gone before introductions, though.
Oh, you were.
I was there for intros.
Okay, Connor. The words I got were comparable to Turner was one, comparable to Turner, and the other one was lukewarm reception.
It was not noticeable that Bryce Harper was the name announced. I'll just say it that way. I don't think anyone got any negative reaction,
Right.
but it was normally it's Bryce Harper and
it's-
people go nuts.
Yeah.
It was. I was told it was lukewarm by one person, and I was heard it was comparable to Turner's when Turner was announced.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the tide shifting
Like,
during the season last year.
I think though Bryce thinks that his whole go after Dombrowski, that the fan base is all on his side. I don't buy it.
I think people are
I
more
don't buy it.
upset with Dombrowski, but I think more people may agree with Dombrowski.
Yeah, I think people agree with Dombrowski.
It's the guy says something, we all thinking it, but nobody wanted to say it.
And yeah, but I mean, it's the
it's
idea.
like the Duke player the other day when they admitted
About,
that
we
they
looked
took
past them.
Sienna lightly, and we all know that the 1 seed always takes the 16 seed lightly. You just don't say it.
You don't articulate.
And he said it because they almost lost the game.
But I think it's clear there was a bit of a miscalculation that I think Bryce Harper believed that the fan base was going to somehow rally behind him. And it appears, now it's just, I was not there yesterday. I will be down. I'll try to do a little more reconnaissance of my own. But that, it doesn't seem like
I will say I saw a lot of Harper jerseys and jerseys.
I own one.
Yeah, saw a lot of it
own
around
one.
the ballpark.
I don't think people are going to get rid of them if they own one.
The second he hits one out,
Yeah, sure. Everybody's going to
that's
look.
gonna
Everyone's going to
hopefully
support
change.
him.
Yeah, of course.
But I think he needs to. I think he needs a reality check. I think he needs a reality check of, dude, he tried to play the victim. He's tried to do the 2 contract renegotiations. He's tried to just play baseball.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Everybody here is rooting for you.
Yes.
Everybody here loves the memory of Bedlam at the Bank, which, by the way, is now going on 4 years ago. Give us new memories and go out there and just be yourself. Nobody wants to dislike Bryce Harper.
No.
Nobody wants to root against him. Just go do your thing, dude. Everybody wants to love you.
Harper yesterday 0 for 4. Adalis Garcia 0 for 4.
And not looking good doing it.
JT Real Muto 0 for 3 wearing the sombrero, 3 strikeouts. Now, I can't freak out after one game.
Whoa.
Look, I'm not happy that JT Realmuto signed a 3-year, $45 million contract. I will stand by that. I think that was a dumb decision by the Phillies, and they only did it because they didn't sign Bo Bichette. Let's not rewrite history here. They only did it because they didn't
weren't
get Bichette.
going to sign him.
No, they weren't.
And then they
somehow he gets 3 years.
And then they
went.
went and gave him 3 years when no other team in baseball was offering him more than one.
What are we doing
And they
here?
offered him top dollar for catchers.
But man,
they didn't say, oh, we're going to give you 3 years, but we're going to give you a team-friendly deal. No, we're going to pay you top of your business.
But man, he caught a good game yesterday for
stop.
Christopher Sanchez.
He did.
So
Just stop.
this is like the annual topic of how you are going to handle yourself day in, day out with the Phillies. I am somebody that likes to break it down by 10-game increments. You're somebody that doesn't look at the standings until Memorial Day.
Standings don't. Now, individual performances I can look at.
Yeah.
But standings for the team, I really don't give a damn.
But I
till
look at
Memorial Day.
10-game increments because like
I think that's fair.
A guy could go 0 for 9 in 3 games and then go 9 for 9 the next 3 games, and then you sound like a lunatic that you were freaking out.
Okay, was it 0 for 29 last year for Marsh?
Yeah,
the year?
yeah. Remember he got sent down,
And then he
because
hit
of it.
and then he hit 280 for the year?
Yeah.
Which I still think is a statistical impossibility, but he did it.
But he did it,
And
yeah.
congratulations
And
to
he had a
Brandon
nice
Marsh
double yesterday
for doing it, which
Too,
is great.
didn't
I'm glad to see that he did that. But I believe it was like 0 for 29. Like he started out.
Yeah.
He started out one of the worst I've ever seen. And to his credit, he got it fixed. That's where it tells you got to let baseball breathe.
Yeah.
Got to let it breathe. No matter what you think you know about the player, got to let it breathe.
Well, will you allow him to breathe? Or are we going to be either wake me up when October comes or every day is referendum day? Because it felt like that already on social media. Look, I'm not thrilled that Real Muto got a $3 or $45 million contract, but the amount of tweets I saw about JT yesterday, I'm like, all right, it's game one.
I think people are fatigued from what they saw the last 2 years out of him.
Yeah, I don't blame you, even though he was one of your hottest hitters at the end of the season.
He did have a
year.
good 2 months.
So we're curious, how will you handle yourself day in, day out? If you just want to react, if you were at the ballpark yesterday, any takeaways, feel free to let us know. By the way, I looked at the Ghost Energy deck in the first inning.
And then you looked away.
Or first minute I was there, and then I looked away. 610-632-0975. Coming up next, one of our favorite things about baseball, Johnny, is the wild stats that pop up on a random day. How about 2 big ones for the Phillies yesterday in their opening day win? You'll go, what? Really? Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils win on opening day. I'm Connor Thomas. And the Phillies started off their season 1-0, taking down the Rangers 5-3 on opening day at the bank yesterday. Christopher Sanchez dominant on the mound, throwing 6 shutout innings, striking out 10. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both homered in the win. Justin Crawford 2 hits in his major league debut. Alec Bohm talked with media afterwards about getting the first one.
We always joke you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. So opening day, energy's high, and everybody's happy, everybody's clicking, and it's just a good feeling to go get the first one.
Phils are off today. They'll play Game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. The Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night as the offense got going. They'll face the Red Wings tomorrow night as they continue to try and make that push to the postseason. And the Sixers face the Hornets tomorrow as well. It's a busy Saturday for Philadelphia sports as we have 2 playoff pushes, and the Phillies are just getting their season rolling. Busy day on Kincade Salciunas. Amy Fedul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. Kevin Nagandi joins us at 9:05. Scott Lauber will also join us in the 9 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, develops better athletes and better people through sports info at positivecoach.org. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:30. You heard the voice of Ray Dunn. Ray Dunn was in attendance yesterday. Of course he was. That guy goes to more games than anybody else I know that doesn't have season tickets. Like, he just he works the
secondary market.
Like it's Wall Street.
I think it's awesome. He's like the Wolf of Wall Street.
He's the Wolf of Wall Street when it comes to StubHub, man, or Ticketmaster, all these accounts. Because Ray, I will be talking to Ray. I'm like, oh, what are you doing for the game? I'll see if I'll get in. And then it'll be like 3 minutes before first pitch. He goes, hey, I'm in the game because the tickets dropped.
There you go.
Guys, I appreciate the hustle. It's unbelievable.
I love it.
All right, 2 crazy stats from yesterday. The beauty of baseball is the crazy stats, right? I love it. First time since, and it's like something in 1850, like all that kind of stuff. Well, how about the first time in the modern era, Johnny?
Okay.
That a starting pitcher on opening day struck out 10, walked 0 runs, 3 or fewer hits, and earned the win. Christopher Sanchez is the only major league pitcher in the modern era, according to OptaStats, to have that opening day.
Well, if OptaStats said it, then we know it's true.
Well, they're one of the big.
I mean, that's great. That's
they're
amazing.
one of the big statistic accounts.
I'm floored by that.
That's unbelievable. Well, think about it. A lot of guys they're worried about their pitch count early on.
In the really modern era,
right.
They didn't. Like they didn't.
Right,
back
they didn't.
In the
Yeah,
day.
right, exactly.
20 years ago, they didn't.
Right, it was you're going 100 pitches.
They realized that guys' arms weren't going to fall off.
Yeah. Remember, in spring training back in the day, a guy would go 7 innings the last start.
Yeah, they didn't care. Yeah, they really stretched him out.
Right. So Christopher Sanchez, that's unbelievable. First time in modern era to have a pitcher
That's incredible
do that.
to me.
Now, how about this one for your Philadelphia Phillies?
Okay.
I love it when it's from Jason Stark because you always know it's going to be a good one.
Jason's a psychopath.
Yes, he is.
Like Jason is a baseball psychopath in all the good ways.
He leads the tweet with, "This seems impossible, but."
Oh, whenever anybody says that.
Do you know that Johan Duran became the first Phillies reliever ever to save a game at home on opening day?
What? Wait, what? Wait a minute.
So saves.
So the Phillies never had a save on opening day at home?
Nope.
Ever?
Nope. So John Fisher, who does sports research for CBS, used to work at ESPN for SportsCenter as well.
Okay.
He quote tweets it and says, "This is crazy but true."
That's absurd.
Something to consider. Saves did not become an official stat since 1969.
Yeah, but okay.
Still a long time.
1969. I was in nursery school.
Right.
I mean, whatever. I mean, are you serious?
The Phillies season opener at home 23 times. So yesterday's was the 24th home opener since 1969 for the Philadelphia Phillies. Of those games, I appreciate John for doing this. This is a big breakdown. They have only had 8 games where they won. So they are 8 and now 9.
Right.
9 and 16 at home since the save stat became official.
This is wild.
And only 3 became a classic save situation, and they were all blown.
Oh my gosh!
They had
what?
Had 2 complete games. I think Roy Halladay was one of them.
A complete game on opening day?
Yes, I believe Roy Halladay was one of them, and the other 3 were walk-offs. They had to win it in the bottom of the 9th. One of them being John Mayberry Jr.
Okay, I remember John Mayberry Jr.
So the Phillies have never had a save at home on opening day.
That's crazy.
I love baseball, man.
Like that's a crazy stat.
It is.
That is a crazy stat.
It's unbelievable, man. Well, Phillies win yesterday. They start the season 1-0. The road to 162-0 is still clear. They could still make it happen. Off day today. I know that sucks. I hate it too, but it's just what they do.
Well, no, it's the right thing. I know our old friend Jamie Lynch is complaining about it today because he used to always complain about the day off. Today is a perfect reason for it.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a crappy, colder, wet, rainy opening day that might have gotten rained out.
Yeah, you do it to build in so that you're not traveling in the middle of August to play the Texas Rangers, or they would be traveling here.
Like, yeah, I mean, having to play
or a doubleheader.
No, you
want to
have
opening.
No, you want to have opening day. Be able to have a day where you don't have it rained out.
Right, exactly. So
that's perfect.
That's why they do it. It is a bummer because you feel the juice after yesterday, and you want to go into day 2, and you're like, oh. There is no day 2. There's no Phillies game.
It's
today.
awesome.
But look, it's the beginning of a long, long ride. So, yeah,
Long
it sucks
haul,
that we
baby.
don't have them on Friday, but we have them on both Saturday and Sunday. I'm curious, Connor, let us know what we have on the Davis Honda text line. Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. We love
We
Davis
met those
Honda.
fine people the other night from
And,
Davis.
man,
Honda.
were they fine people. They were tremendous
Really nice.
people. The Phillies win yesterday, but there is obviously the celebration reaction, and then there's also the immediate reaction of, is Bryce Harper cooked because he went 0 for 4 in one game? Adolis Garcia
Maybe
is
you can trade him today. Maybe there's
Yeah.
a trade market for Bryce Harper.
Adolis Garcia will definitely be Max Kepler and Whit Merrifield. He might, but I can't react to game 1 and say that. He hit the ball right on the button his first at bat. The next couple weren't so
the third,
great.
he had another one though that he really hit.
Yeah.
really well. Like was it the third at bat that Garcia hit one really well?
May have been.
Right, I
Yeah,
think
might
it
have
was.
been. He squared one up, but
I mean, it's all
and
right.
then Real Muto. Look,
Well, come on.
but he's batting 8th for you this year.
You
which
understand.
is-
You understand the.
No,
real
I
need
totally
to-
understand.
You
that
understand the real
because I
need
didn't
to-
want to give him 3 years, $45 million. Ridiculous. What do we got on the Davis Honda text line?
So no one majorly overreacting yet to the negative. We do have someone reacting to the positive, though. John in Tennessee says, Sanchez is a true number 1. If Wheeler comes back close to form, Phillies have the best 1-2 in baseball. Bodes well for the playoffs if the bats can just at least be lukewarm.
Smart listener, because that if Wheeler comes back 85% of what he is, the Phillies have the best 1-2 in baseball.
And we don't have to wait long to see what his arms
And
like.
then,
Tomorrow he's pitching for Lehigh.
and again, I told you this, and Greg Caserta talked about it yesterday from the MLB Network when he joined us on Wednesday. The MLB Network crew had in their votes for NL Cy Young,
Yeah.
top 6 or top 7 votes of their staff came in Jesus Luzardo.
How about that?
So they're top 7 pitchers in the National League. By the way, they also had Christopher Sanchez on there and had Wheeler on there, which is crazy.
Well-
because they're Skeens, they're doing Skeens on there and they're throwing it. I mean, the Phillies had 3 of the top 7.
On the FanDuel Sportsbook app, Christopher Sanchez, now your front runner after one start, because if you did not see what
Yes.
took place between the Pirates and Mets, O'Neal Cruz better apologize to Paul Skeens. Christopher Sanchez, your front runner for MVP, plus 350. Zach Wheeler is 6th in terms of odds. Luzardo is 9th, tied 8th. So you have 3 pitchers on the Vegas Strip in the top 8 for NL MVP. And that's why I don't understand the Mets winning the division love that a lot of people are. Look, I get it. The lineup's really good. That Mets lineup concerns me a little bit. But this Phillies rotation, like, you got 3 Cy Young candidates. You have a front runner. And, oh, by the way, you got guys on the back end. Aaron Nola, you see what you got out of him. We'll see what you get out of Andrew Painter. And your bullpen, 7, 8, 9 on the days where you're going to rely on the real guys, the Alvarados and the Durans and the Kellers, and not the Backus and the Pops and the Mazes, with all due respect to those guys. Like, I don't see how this team goes into any game where you're saying they're going to lose today.
When you have an opening day effort like that from Christopher Sanchez, and you have the built-in day off today, why are you going to the tomato cans?
Well, it's 5-0 game. So the idea is you get guys who are new to this organization, new to this ballpark. You get them out there at a low leverage spot and build that confidence. That's why I think they went to Zach Pop, who had a rough spring.
Yeah.
Kyle Backus, who was new here, worked for one, didn't work for the other.
Yeah,
See, I don't think opening day is a low leverage spot.
5-0 in that game when they couldn't do anything.
yeah. And by the way, Backus wasn't a tomato can in spring training. Like, he was really good for them. And
No,
so
yeah,
they're probably saying, let's continue to ride this into the regular season.
I think with the day off, you manage it. Go with a big. You got your ace on the mound. Just handle it like you would like it's a legitimate thing. You want to make a statement. Say, hey, let's look at this.
Yeah, but then
That's to me.
you'll also get
I'm not throwing out. I'm
you'll
not
get the
throwing
other
out
half
those.
of the argument that will say, why are you throwing guys out there in situations that they normally wouldn't pitch in? So you'll get that. Yeah, I'm fine with what they did yesterday. It sucks that Backus gave up the bomb to Berger. He had a really good spring. You hope that that's more of the norm and not the Berger home run. Again, Kyle Backus was pitching to minor leaguers probably most of the time.
He was.
We always
he
notice that.
was.
Especially when you're pitching in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning. That's when a lot of the guys are already at their houses.
I think there was I'm stealing this from one of the Phillies beats, and I'm very, very sorry. The percentage of at-bats that he faced major league guys who made rosters is very small.
Sure.
So his stats in the spring, I don't really give a damn about.
Yeah, he might stink.
Because he wasn't facing major league. He wasn't getting major leaguers out. He was getting tomato cans
Yeah,
out.
but the stuff's just stuff, Johnny.
Yeah, and he's pitched
The
the major
stuff's-
league level before.
I understand.
Now-
but he was really ineffective.
We have a celebrity in our YouTube chat.
What?
Can't confirm if it's the real. DJ Jazzy Jeff is
What?
in our YouTube chat.
What up?
This is
DJ
the story all about. Well,
DJ Jazzy Jeff says way too early reaction. Backus is this year's Jordan Romano.
Don't you do that to my guy.
Now, here's the
no.
deal.
Hopefully, we don't have to do it for long.
Connor would be devastated because Connor gave him a nickname before he threw one inning in Major League Baseball for the Phillies. But if Backus is Romano, at least this is a guy. Romano was brought in to be your closer. Like, you paid him a lot of money
So
to
bad.
be a big part of your bullpen, and he was atrocious
So
last
bad.
year. If Backus stinks, then you go, all right, see you later.
I took a shot. I threw a dart. We'll see.
Yeah, he threw a dart, all right.
Sure did.
The backpack is on probation right
No,
now.
no. I don't want to
You
hear
threw a
about it.
dart with
That's
your
why
eyes
backpacks
closed.
are illegal in the building. That's why they confiscate
What do you
them.
mean? I had one yesterday.
No,
you
these
went
people.
crowded room of children with that dart. Like,
It's one
that was a
appearance.
premature dart, man.
Take it easy on my
Dude.
guy.
Nicknames
All right, coming up next.
for Quad A guys.
Phillies weren't the only team in town yesterday, Johnny, that played last night.
I know they weren't.
Unfortunately, one's on life support, but the plug's still in. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic.
Hey, if you're getting ready to move, let's say you have a garage or an attic that's all cluttered. Let's say you're doing a remodel at your house. You're going to need a Bagster, the dumpster in a bag. It's by far, it's so convenient. It's so affordable. It's the best way to do your cleanup. Bagster's a great product, a 3 cubic yard dumpster in a bag. Go into a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or a local home improvement store. Grab one for just $29.99. Carry it out under your arm. I'm telling you, it's simple. I can set up a Bagster, so I know you can. Set it up when you're ready to do it. There's no time limits. You buy it, you fill it, you schedule the collection, and it'll be gone. There's no time limits. It's completely on demand. So go to thebagster.com to find the store nearest you and to get more details. You got to clean it up with the Bagster. You've been waiting to do this, and look, spring is absolutely here. It is here. It's almost April. Go get yourself a Bagster, the dumpster in a bag.
Got
not that bad, at least most of the time. Now let's listen to more Kincade and Salciunas before I change my mind.
All right, 6:47 on this Friday morning here on Kincade and Salciunas, day after the opener for the Phillies where they win 5-3. We've been celebrating it, most of us. I know I saw a lot of people on social media freaking out about a couple of the players. It was game one. But is that what you're going to do to yourself all year? You're either a wake me up when October comes person, or you're a every single day I am going to live and die by the Philadelphia Phillies' success or lack of success.
Okay, now the thing is, though, for some players, it's valid. It's valid for somebody. Like, it's not going, you can't just say, well, it's one day with JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto has been on a decline.
What if he goes 2 for 4 tomorrow?
I understand. But someone who has JT Realmuto fatigue decline, absolutely, it's not based on one day. It's based on watching him the last as he's been on a career decline.
Sure.
He had a good second half last year, though.
He had a good 2 months last year that really did help the team. But again, he's been on a decline, and you just signed him to a big contract, which was stupid.
Yeah, I hated the contract.
Flat out stupid. And you know the contracts just start. So there's going to be a reaction to signing that stupid contract to a guy who's been on a distinct decline. And you're signing him to that contract, and you pay him top of market. And so somebody doing that is going, well, wait a minute, this is a declining asset, getting older, and you went and you did that. I'm good. That to me, I completely understand. I completely excuse anybody who goes, it's not just one day they're reacting to. They're reacting to fatigue. They're saying this organization does stupid things. That's stupid money. That is the definition of stupid money.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I have Alec Bohm fatigue, and his first at-bat was a chopper to the shortstop.
See,
and
I
didn't race to social media and say, typical.
Again,
It's a home run later.
Again, you and I are on different pages with Alec Bohm. If Alec Bohm is fatigue for you, one of the best hitters on the team, there are a ton of guys that I'm going to have fatigue with before I get to Alec Bohm.
Yeah, but you didn't see me racing to social media to complain about is what I'm
No,
saying.
what I'm saying is I wouldn't understand why you were. Alec Bohm was one of the best hitters on the team last year. Why would Alec Bohm be catching strays with this crappy lineup? If JT Realmuto gets any kind of grace, Alec Bohm, are you kidding me?
You can't go this crappy lineup.
No. There are guys in the lineup who deserve it is what I'm saying to you. Before you would ever get to Alec Bohm, you could go to a myriad of players that you would critique.
And that's why I didn't race
like
to
Stott.
social media.
You go,
that's why I didn't do it.
Why does Stott? Well, yeah, because you shouldn't do it with a guy
exactly.
like Bohm.
I don't think anybody should do that yet with anybody. It was opening freaking day.
No, it's not though. When you're talking about a player when you got a laundry list of stuff, Bohm's not a laundry list guy. Bohm's has been one of their best hitters during this last 4-year run. He's been one of their best hitters.
Yes.
Whether he is what you want him to be, whether he is what you thought he was going to be, he still has been one of your best hitters. Start going after the guys who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing first.
Yeah, and that's why I said I hated the contract of JT Realmuto.
Yes, and
I went after that from the jump street.
And that's the way they should be getting it.
All right, before we get back to our Davis Honda text line, and I know we have a Dr. Avidan Appel poll running right now. Iron Mountain Men's Health, they keep it strong. Flyers last night, Johnny, they take down, as you say, Chicago. They beat the Blackhawks last night.
That is the Indian name. It's the Chicago. It's Chicago.
They beat the Blackhawks last night 5-1. So great that they got the win because they need to keep on piling up wins. It's just that game the other night against Columbus
was a huge one.
It's such a bummer that they dropped that one.
Okay, last night, the other night against Columbus was a bummer. Now you got a game that is but Columbus loses a game last night in regulation, so more games, more sand's falling out of that hourglass.
Yep.
But you got a chance to catch up again. You can pull to within 3 points of Columbus with your game in hand again, because you're now 5 points behind Columbus with a game in hand. They're in third place. You got it. You're right now. You're still 5 points behind the Islanders with the 2 games in hand. So you got that. But tomorrow night you face Detroit. At Detroit, you're 2 points behind Detroit.
Yep.
Tomorrow night's like a playoff game. Like you're getting down to it now. You have
Must
12
win?
games left. Look, it's so bad.
They're 0-1 in the game 7 must wins.
The math is really bad. The math is really, really bad. Especially when you see these 3-point games happen like Penguins last night. The Penguins and the Jackets last night Penguins and the Senators, play a 3-point game. That's where you just say, I'm watching that game last night, flipping around. I go, it's 2-2. Then it's 3-2, and I'm going, okay, good. just one person get 2 points, and then it's a 3-3 game, and I'm going, come on, somebody score.
All right, Johnny Hockey, can San Jose help us out tomorrow?
No. San Jose's not helping you.
What would be great is
San Jose's not helping you.
I know. The Sharks are at Columbus tomorrow, 5 o'clock puck drop. So that game happens before the Flyers-Red Wings game.
I mean, could it happen?
It would be great if San Jose could win in regulation, and then we go into a game against Detroit going, oh, boy, you can make it 3.
Here's what you got to watch for. You got to watch is you're trying to catch the Islanders.
Sure.
So right now, the Islanders wild card 2. That's who you're watching. You got 2 games in hand on the Islanders. So that's what you're watching. So you're 5 points behind the Islanders with 2 games in hand. Tomorrow night's game with Detroit is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
They have to win as many games as possible.
And by the way, primetime national TV. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to show up.
That's awesome. Like, it would just be great at Detroit tomorrow night. Win that game.
And it's not on ESPN Plus, so people won't be
Yeah, I want to have all the pop-ups.
Night.
I want my brother calls me the other day urgently. What channel is what channel is Hulu?
I love that.
What channel
is
awesome.
Hulu? That is fantastic.
I'm like, yeah.
That is fantastic.
But hey, Flyers have, like, the Columbus game is huge just for what it meant standings-wise, but they have been on a heater lately. That doesn't change with the loss to Columbus.
It's just a bummer. That was a bummer of a loss.
But
it's to make up for it tomorrow night.
But if you want to dream, you got to, honestly, it's sort of you're looking at a 3-point weekend with Detroit and then at Detroit and then coming home and playing Dallas. You're sort of looking at it as, can you get 3 points? And if you get both of them, you get both of those games this weekend. The schedule really eases up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you have a big game with Detroit next week, Islanders next Friday. I mean, it opens up, but you got to take care of your business. Win tomorrow night, and Sunday morning gets very intriguing.
And then we'll talk. All right. What do we have on the Dr. Avi Donapel Iron Mountain Men's Health Poll of the Day?
That's a mouthful.
4 hours strong each morning.
I love our listeners today, at least in the early responses.
Oh, you're about to say I love the polls.
Calm down. Our question today, which Phillies player moved the needle, positively or negatively, the most for you on opening day? 4 options here. Alec Bohm, Justin Crawford, JT Realmuto, or Bryce Harper. Justin Crawford leading the way with 61% of the vote. 25% are saying Alec Bohm. 14% are saying JT Realmuto, which would be in the negative. 0% saying Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
So because they're saying he is the guy with the most cachet.
Yeah, you're not going to overreact.
He's the guy that he's the guy who deserves the most wide berth.
Oh, updated. It's up to 3%.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but that's what you would expect. That's what you would expect. I love the fact, though, is because my answer for that, as I said, to me, the thing that I smiled at the most last night was Crawford.
Yeah. Because you
that
have
made
a
me
guy.
smile. Because I don't know anything about him.
Pencil him in. You don't have to
148.
Yeah.
What do you say? 148?
Perfect.
150?
He plays center field.
Let him play. He's a young
kid. And you don't have an automatic out in the 9-hole, which has been a problem for this team for many seasons. I know the 9-hole hitters never expected to hit well.
I want Realmuto down in the 9-hole. Maybe we can put him down there.
No.
I'm fine with the split. The lefty, righty, lefty.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, we'll get back to some of the things we started the show off with, the celebration of the 1-0 start for the Philadelphia Phillies, but also, I can't believe this is happening, man. If you think you're stressed out for a couple of players yesterday, imagine having to sue your parents. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sanchez shoves in Game 1. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies started off their season 1-0 yesterday, taking down the Rangers 5-3 on opening day. Christopher Sanchez, a huge start by him. 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, an unbelievable job on the mound. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both went yard in the win. Justin Crawford, 2 hits in his major league debut. He caught up with John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia after the game to talk about it.
I felt good, obviously, the little jitters before every game, but once the game got rolling, I was able to kind of just click into this baseball, go play, and thankfully I was able to kind of put a good swing on a couple balls. A day that I'll remember the rest of my life.
And you love to see the young kid get off and running in his major league debut. The Phillies, they're off and running, but they're off today. They'll play game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow at 4:05. Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night as the offense got going. They face the Red Wings tomorrow night in a big game as they try and find their way into the postseason. And the Sixers take on the Hornets tomorrow as well. We got a busy Saturday for Philly sports. We got a busy day here on Kincade and Salciunas. Amy Fedul joins us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. Kevin Nagandi and Scott Lauber will both join us in the 9 o'clock hour. This update's brought to you by Papa John's, introducing new pan pizza from Papa John's. Order a medium one-topping pan pizza, just $11.99 when you download the Papa John's app or at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Guys, make sure you tune in Middays with Marks. You guessed it, with me, John Marks. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. Let's get back to more of Kincade and Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. It is 7 a.m. here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. By the way, if you are a Mountain Dew fan, Connor, I'm not a soda guy. You're not a soda guy.
I've not had a soda since
I'm not either.
2002.
Would you have a Baja Blast?
Oh, I love the Baja Blast.
What is a Baja Blast? I wouldn't even be able to tell.
Oh, that's
It's
the Taco Bell, John.
Tropical lime flavor. It usually goes with Taco Bell.
No.
Well, baseball's doing a really cool thing for you this year. So remember, the taco steal in the World Series? Every time there's a stolen base, you get free tacos the next day.
Yeah, Schwarber got us one year. 22.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do you know every day a home run that is hit for at least 420 feet, the next day you can get a free Baja Blast?
What?
Every day. Home runs are flying, especially when it gets to summertime. So we had one yesterday. It was a player for the Mets, so we're not going to celebrate it too much.
Nah, I'll pour that Baja Blast out.
But every day there's a home run hit that travels at least 420 feet. The next day, you get a free 20-ounce Mountain Dew product at select places that participate in it. That's
so
nuts.
420. Wow. There it is. It's good. Okay.
That goes hand in hand.
There we go.
But that's a cool little promotion.
I love that.
That's interesting.
It's just it's a shame that a Met player was the one that unlocked it for us. Speaking of home runs, you mentioned Kyle Schwarber getting the World Tacos. Did you hear the Rangers broadcasters crying yesterday?
No.
So
Why?
Nick Picone, who does a great job.
Sure.
If you don't follow him, I suggest you do it. He grabs the radio feed of Philadelphia broadcast, the TV feed going up with highlights, but he'll also find the opposing team broadcast.
Okay.
They called Schwarber's home run cheap because they're, 25 different ballparks, that's not going out, which I understand. That's like the big thing with Yankee Stadium, that a lot of home runs aren't home runs like anywhere else.
Okay.
It's so whiny.
Yeah, counterpoint. Wham.
A counterpoint, your guys could do it too. Like,
It does, for other teams, though, they will say it does inflate the statistics of Phillies home runs. So
Yeah.
that's just what they're saying.
and then I can say that the Rangers ballpark deflates statistics because you have air conditioning pumping into that building and you don't allow the ball to fly. It's not
Okay.
my fault that your ownership group did that.
Yeah, welcome to baseball.
Yeah, like
First year?
the ball flies in this ballpark. Cincinnati, the ball flies. That's why I get excited when the Phillies travel to Cincinnati. I don't get as excited when they play teams like Arizona and Texas because their team isn't built for it. Remember that last year was the first time they won in Texas in like 9 years?
Yeah, they kept losing in Texas.
It's because the Phillies, there was also that drought of playoffs, so the team just sucked.
Well, the Phillies used to do terribly in Arizona, too.
Yeah, because they have teams that mash because they build it for this ballpark. That's why Arizona builds let's get guys that hit line drives. Let's get guys that can
a cavernous ballpark.
Yeah, like that's baseball. That's why Colorado, you sign guys that can hit the ball pretty well. Maybe.
And you got to have speedy outfielders. You got to have there's certain things you got to have.
That's sports.
Yeah, that's why they got Mickey Moniak out there in Denver.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Against
that's
right-handed pitching only. All right, Phillies 1-0 to start the season. They win 5-3 yesterday. Celebrating the highs, trying not to overreact to the lows. Some of you are, and we'll talk about it. We'll check the Davis Honda text line in a moment at 610-632-0975. But one story to react to yesterday about Alec Bohm, not just the home run. Because I reacted to the home run. You reacted to the home run.
Yes.
We all reacted to the home run.
Love it.
And he shut people like me up for a day with the home run. Oppo Boppo for Alec Bohm. I appreciate that. Weird story that's happening right now with Alec Bohm. He is suing his parents. I don't know how much you guys read up on it.
I did a good amount of reading up on it.
So you'll be able to explain it better than everybody else. But just to give you the gist of the story, back in 2019 when he was starting to get paid with the Phillies, his parents told him that they assigned themselves a 10% stake strictly for administration purposes, and that Bohm was the true owner of the LLC's assets. This is according to the lawsuit.
Yeah, they set up like an administration where they were running his business for him.
Yes.
Okay, so they set that up, and they look like they're taking as an LLC. Like I have an LLC. You can set up in an LLC. You can set up employees in your LLC. So like you would be able to have the Andrew Salciunas LLC, and you could set up Christy as an employee.
Oh, how about that?
In your LLC, you could pay Christy.
She runs my life anyway.
You could,
might as well.
and you know what? You could pay Christy a 401k out of that.
Yeah.
Like you could pay her a 401k and get her a retirement plan out of that. So they set up a thing and they say, we're doing this to administrate your funds and we're just doing this, but you're going to get all that money, but we're just making it look like it. Well, that was wrong.
Yeah.
That money,
according
to his claims, they were taking the money and they were spending it.
They are asking his parents to pay at least $3 million in damages and then hand over all the control of the accounts and to hire an accountant to track every dollar they transferred from Bohm's personal accounts to the accounts that they control. Now, look, this is where it gets weird because, first off, it's his mom and dad. So let's start there. It's his mom and dad.
That's about as weird as it gets.
If you look at his salary over the years, because he has not made the big payday yet.
He's made $26 million?
Let me see what his overall.
I thought he's made $26 million.
$27 million career earnings.
Okay.
So 2020, he was getting paid $500,000. 2021, $500,000. 2022, $750,000. 2023, same thing. 2024, he makes $4 million because of arbitration.
Yes.
This year, he's making 10 after last year's 7.5. So now the money is going up and up and up. So I don't know, man. Like, this is murky waters. I don't know what his relationship is with his parents.
I think it's pretty bad right now when you start suing your parents.
Right.
I feel bad for Alec because it's you on issues of money. You have there's a whole thing is if you guys are too young, but Uncle Fester, you know who Uncle Fester was from the Addams
Yes.
family. He actually was a child actor
Okay.
whose parents stole all his money from him.
Oh, that's horrible.
So he was a famous child actor before he was Uncle Fester sticking the light bulb in his mouth.
Yep.
I have no idea how he ever did the light bulb trick. How did he get electricity in his mouth? But whole other issue. He had all his money stolen from him by his parents. So he was making money doing as a child actor, and his parents stole all his money. So they came up with these Jackie Coogan laws that protect young people. So young people, Disney Channel people, and other things, they follow, there's Jackie Coogan laws that protect them that now administer young people's funds.
Where you have the Britney Spears experience.
So look, Alec Bohm's a high school kid getting drafted. He doesn't know anything about finance.
No.
He didn't know anything about this stuff. You trust your parents to look out for you and setting up stuff. Here is what I would suggest to everyone. I have a background in a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a money guy. I understand all of this stuff. And I have somebody who counsels me. They don't trust your parents.
So Alec Bohm should call you?
Don't know. Don't trust me. I have a money guy. I understand every single part of this.
Right.
But I have somebody who knows more than me that just counsels me, that double checks me, that says, don't do that, John. Do this. Alec Bohm's trusting his parents. No. And by the way, they don't have a background in it.
Alternative option, just don't make any money.
Well,
That's what we do. That's why we're in radio,
Connor, a lot
baby.
of people like radio.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's hard.
It's a shame because
It's a bad story. It's a bad story.
And the story comes out during the game yesterday from somebody from the Inquirer. And then, of course, he has to get asked by it after the game. And he refused to comment.
I think his camp, though, sort of timed it, the story coming out, as far as the lawsuit. I mean, I think that they didn't have any problem with the story coming out along with opening day around then.
Sure.
This story could have come out in spring training. It could have come out. The story gets launched right around opening day.
Yeah, you just hope that he doesn't get distracted by this.
I just hope
it's a pretty look. So mom and dad, I imagine that.
I hope
get
that
distracting.
I hope that for Alec's sake that it's something that gets that his parents correct whatever needs to be corrected. He corrects whatever needs to be corrected because I'd hate to see his family destroyed by it.
Well, his parents, and this is we'll leave it at this. His parents denied doing anything wrong.
Right.
Through their lawyer, they said they are, quote, deeply saddened by the allegations. Their lawyer, Robert Eckert, said Mr. and Mrs. Bohm love their son very much and have always acted in his best interest, both personally and professionally, and still do to this day.
They could turn over the accounts today and just say, then turn over the accounts.
Yeah.
We'll see if they do. We'll see if they do.
Yep. Hopefully that's something that goes away. And you think for the kid, right? Yeah.
I feel terrible.
Contract year.
No, but your mom and dad, having to get into a legal dispute with your mom and dad, I feel awkward about it I feel so anxious about it for him because that's a terrible thing.
I felt awkward with my dad at the bar after golf when I was giving them my credit card and my dad was trying to say, no, I got it. And then we did the I got it.
Yeah.
By the way, you're not supposed to fight your father on that.
I won the battle, though. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? He paid for golf, so it's
okay, good. Do it beforehand then.
Yeah.
Do it beforehand before he knows.
Bit of a difference. What do we got on the text line, the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington.
Chris in Lancaster is already having early season issues with the Philadelphia Phillies. He says, I'm trying to enjoy the Phillies, but the Negadelphian in me already knows Rob Thompson will sit Crawford on Saturday for Dylan Moore instead of letting the kid play every day.
No, that's not going to happen. If I'm Dave Dombrowski or if I'm, Preston Mattingly, that ain't happening. And let's face it, they have their say with the lineup at times. We've seen it in the playoffs. Jason Stark has been at the forefront of that. Justin Crawford, they did not call up last year. Dave Dombrowski said it publicly. This is not according to sources. They did not call him up last year because they did not have a place to play him every single day. Remember, Harrison Bader is not on this Phillies team because they did not have a place to play him every single day because they love the platoon of Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp for whatever reason. But Justin Crawford will play every day in center field. I understand the attitude. I understand the worry. There's no way he's not in the lineup tomorrow.
Not a chance.
Yeah. He's gonna play. By the way, he's young. Keep playing.
Oh no, they're gonna worry about it. Yeah, he's so young. They're concerned about him.
What else we got?
So this texter, we were talking about the reactions people got during introductions for the Phillies.
Okay.
This texter was on the field for flag duty. And
Oh,
he
that's
says,
awesome.
Harper was indeed lukewarm, but to be honest, other than Sanchez, Sosa and JT had the loudest welcome
People
applause.
love
from what he could
Edmundo
hear.
Sosa, man. I love it.
People love
him.
Sosa.
Yeah, they sure do. The JT Realmuto one,
By the way,
confuses the hell out
the
of me.
JT is, I had another person respond with a very similar thing saying JT probably was 4th or 5th loudest. Like as far as
And he
of
usually
the whole
and he
team.
usually is. Like last year, you and I were talking about when he was struggling. I went to a game in like June or July, and he was playing bad. Like he was playing bad baseball, and he still gets one of the big. And I get it, catcher, and he's handsome. And people love that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, people really like those like really handsome dudes.
But we were talking just last week about how much we have changed as a fan base. Like, I'm not saying it's for better or for worse, but usually when a guy's struggling, you're not giving it a big ovation to. But then again, Trey Turner got a standing one a couple of years ago.
And again, this is where I tell you it's become a very different. It's a different world.
I don't want him booed.
No,
Yeah.
but the thing is, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between blind cheering for someone who's doing nothing and booing them. I don't want them booed either. I don't want the guy booed. But like, can we make the cheers worth nothing? We've devalued cheers when we start cheering crappy performances. Then we make cheers worth nothing.
They were cheering the resume, I imagine. And I also think we might just be,
Which resume? 2022?
well, his career resume. He's a great
Career
catcher.
resume.
The dude's going to have a bit of a Hall of Fame case when he's done playing baseball at the catcher
he will.
position.
He will legitimately have a Hall of Fame case. You're right.
But I also think we might just, like the fabric of the city, I don't know if we think about it enough, we might just be a catcher town.
We are, because we've had like 5 in the last 40 years. I like legit guys.
Not just
with all
that.
due respect to Cameron Rupp and Eric Kratz.
Not just that, but like the football part of the fabric of this fan base, like the catcher is the tough guy behind the dish, helmet on, always wearing foul balls and everything. JT's as tough as they come.
Oh, I think it's the people find him handsome.
I think it's the fact is having 2 women in my house. That it's the women just think he's very handsome. My daughter thinks he should have been Superman if what Henry
Cavill.
Yeah, if he wasn't.
I'll tell you this: if I took my wife to the game, yes, all right. My wife does not watch sports. My wife would not know if JT Realmuto was 0 for 100. When
But she'd
Dan
know-
Baker announces JT Realmuto, she'd do a woo.
Yeah, she's checking out. She's
And I'm
perking
like,
up for JT.
Yeah, like that's
great.
That's what a lot of Castellanos. There was a lot of Castellanos love.
Yeah.
Ever since when he unbuttoned the extra button.
My wife was talking with one of her. I don't know if she was getting her hair cut or getting her nails done or something, and they talk about their mutual love of Casti.
Yeah.
My wife, big fan of Casti.
Natalie P. right away on our YouTube chat. Real Muto, 3 face heart emojis. Right there's love for Real Muto.
Look, he's a handsome man, and that's great.
One of Coop's daycare teachers has a Johan Rojas jersey. He stinks. I go, why? I'm like, why do you have that? Well, he's handsome.
What? But I mean, I saw one of the Klein students yesterday walking through. There was baseball, and so all the Klein students at Temple were encouraged to wear their Phillies gear.
Yeah.
They did a baseball opening day
That's
thing.
beautiful.
And he's wearing a Johan Rojas. And I said, "Are you serious?" And
He was
goes,
a big fan of horse racing.
My parents bought him said he could have any jersey that he wanted. He bought years ago, and he bought a Johan Rojas.
God.
So he wears it because my parents bought it for me because he asked for it. He thought he was buying on the low, and they're going to be the first ones.
Yeah,
Hey, sometimes you take a shot.
He's Darren Moore.
But you know what though?
He's
still
high.
but he's still wearing it. So there it is.
Not
All
everyone
right.
has the whole closet full of jerseys. Sometimes you just got the one.
And that's fine. All right, what do we got on the YouTube chat? Or I'm sorry, on the Davis Honda text line. My bad.
It's opening day for baseball. Is it for you? John V checks in. He says, I'm a Bryce supporter and believe in him. However, he seems like he's not having fun and he's overthinking at the plate already.
Well, I mean, okay, I can't do that after one game. The fun thing is legitimate, right? We talked about this. He needs to lighten up. He absolutely has to. The comments. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But you know how he does I still love this game. People act like I don't have fun. Well, then show it.
And you know what? Shut up. Shut up. You don't have to You don't have to go around telling people. I still love this. Just show us you love it.
He was asked the other day.
Show us you love it. Don't talk. Stop talking.
Well, he's being asked.
He was asked
but
the
you don't
other
have
day.
to talk about it anymore. And Connor, guys, tell what they're willing to talk about all the time and say, "Stop asking me. I'm not talking about this anymore." He has never talked this much. He is talking. This has been the spring of Bryce talking. He's talking more than he's ever talked. It's like this whole elite. And now I'm worried that stupid not elite shirt is going to put pressure on him.
Well, it will put pressure on him.
Because he did it to himself.
It will. Oh, dude, it's going to absolutely put pressure on him. He has to back it up.
And I hope he just puts it aside because everybody in this town wants him to do great. And we love Bryce Harper and want him to do great.
I heard him talking. So he was asked 2 days ago about what it means to be in his 15th opening day, which congratulations.
Which is an amazing.
Unbelievable. 15th opening day. And the answer's yeah, I'm really happy to be doing it here in Philly. I really want to get to 20, blah, blah, blah. And it's just the way he's talking. I'm like, you know how you ask your wife, everything okay? And they drop the I'm fine?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of where I think Bryce is at right now.
He's like checking. And two, what bothers me with some of his answers when he gets into these things, it's as if he's telling me, it's as if he's reading me a resume. Like he's checking boxes. Just be in the moment. Be in the moment. And I have a hard time with this, about being in the moment and not being a planner and not worrying about 6 months from now and worrying about today. Just talk about today and this team. I don't care if you want to be in 20 opening days. Talk about this year, this team, your excitement for it. And more important, just show us. Because Bryce, everybody wants you to be great. Everybody wants you to succeed. And nobody is rooting against you.
No.
Nobody. Because everybody.
There's some people out there.
Well, they're not Phillies fans. They're not Phillies fans. Because everybody, if you think the Phillies can win a World Series without Bryce Harper being a big part of the equation, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
Absolutely,
so you're not a Phillies fan if you're rooting against Bryce Harper. So just, Bryce, lighten up, Francis.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Just have a good time.
So you can continue to text in your reactions from opening day. Are you going to drive yourself mad this year, reacting every single day like it's Game 7, 610-632-0975. It's the annual topic because annually we see the reactions after day one. By the way, good to see Jonathan Bolin have a nice inning yesterday. He was the guy that was acquired when they traded Matt Strahm away. Matt Strahm, top 10 reliever in Major League Baseball, according to Brian Kenny, right?
And Johan Duran.
And Duran was not.
that was
Jonathan
Brian
Bolin.
Kenny.
It was good. Good outing for him yesterday. He comes in, gets a shutout inning. Zach Pop, as you mentioned earlier, Connor, after a horrific spring, he gets a shutout inning. It's just a shame that they had to bring Duran in.
It's terrible.
What do you mean? We got history.
I know that's
He's
true.
not going to break the Phillies single-season saves record if he doesn't get one on opening
That
day.
was Ray Dunn's prediction, and I already saw him tweeting it yesterday. He is 45 saves away.
Okay.
Single season saves leader, Phillies franchise history.
You want a good number, though, that's a pretty – Scott Fransky, who just does an amazing job.
Yes, he does.
As I'm driving back from Temple yesterday. Amazing job, him in L.A. 19 of 21. You know what that number is?
Nope.
The last 21 home starts for Christopher Sanchez, the Phillies have won.
Whoa.
And his ERA at that time is like around 2. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable what he's become.
The quote from Jake Berger, who plays for the Rangers, called him a bona fide superstar.
See, that's awesome.
And sometimes I have to pinch do you get that? I know he's good. You know he's good.
I don't pinch myself.
But every once in a while I have to remind myself that he's really freaking good.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Exactly.
He wasn't at 6'1".
He got traded for Curtis Meade, right? This isn't everybody knows Paul Skeens because he's been talked about for the last 6 years, right?
Right.
Remember Steven Strasburg? That was everybody was ready for his debut.
And everybody was talking about it.
Christopher Sanchez kind of just skating by. He didn't make the All-Star team last year.
He's a swing man when he came up. They threw him 1 inning in a playoff game.
Yeah, and now he's a superstar.
It's unbelievable.
And he's out. Beautiful. All right, coming up next. Phillies weren't the only team in action. The entire league was in action yesterday, Johnny. And there will be storylines that we are going to follow all season long, one of which is about Christopher Sanchez and his push for a potential Cy Young. Someone took a major hit yesterday. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
An ace-level performance. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies started off their season 1-0 yesterday, beating the Rangers 5-3 on opening day at the bank. Christopher Sanchez, he looked like the ace he is. 6 shutout innings on the mound, 10 strikeouts, an unbelievable start for him. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both homered in the win. Justin Crawford, 2 hits in his major league debut. It was a solid day all around for the Philadelphia Phillies, and Alec Bohm talked after the game about getting the first win out of the way.
We always joke you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. So opening day, the energy's high, and everybody's happy, everybody's clicking, and yeah, it's just a good feeling to go get the first one.
They have the day off today. They'll play Game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow, 4:05 p.m. the time for first pitch at the bank. Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night. The offense got going. They face the Red Wings tomorrow night, another big game for their playoff push. And the Sixers have a big one against the Hornets tomorrow as well. A busy Saturday for Philadelphia sports. We got a busy day here on Kincade and Salciunas. Amy Fedul joins us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Kevin Negandhi and Scott Lauber will both join us coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by the Hartford Auto Insurance. Drivers 50 and over can count on the Hartford Auto Insurance for protection that brings peace of mind. The Hartford, your protection is their passion, provided by the Hartford Insurance Group Incorporated. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Fanatic.
7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, Phil's Rangers not the only teams in action yesterday. There's a total of 11 games for the somewhat opening day because Yankees-Giants played Wednesday night, but 11 games in action yesterday. Phillies Rangers, one of those games. Some storylines just to follow along for the entire season. So this isn't just a let's overreact to opening day. It's storylines that we will track throughout the course of the season. I think the biggest one, because we mentioned Christopher Sanchez's stellar performance on opening day, 6 shutout innings, just 3 hits, strikes out 10, does not walk anybody.
He's a machine, dude.
He's an ace. It's amazing, and he came out of nowhere. And we mentioned Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is a guy that you heard about for a long time before he pitched at the major league level, which is why he's going to get all the talk, and it's why they're going to schedule Pirates games on national television whenever he's scheduled to pitch, more so than Christopher Sanchez, because you know Skeens. The world knows Skeens. O'Neal Cruz better apologize if Paul Skeens does not win his 3rd straight Cy Young.
Because it was terrible.
So yesterday, Pirates-Mets. So we're obviously paying attention to the Mets, too. Mets put up 11 runs yesterday. Now, you would think, oh, my God, they put up 5 runs against Paul Skeens in the 1st inning. That Mets lineup is dangerous, which it is. It's a good lineup.
It's a good club.
There were 2 can of corn fly balls to center field.
Oh, whoa. I don't think the first one is a can of corn.
Watch his.
I watched the whole game. I was watching it live. I was watching it with the Temple
took
kids.
4 steps in.
Yeah, I mean, he did a Brandon Marsh.
You break the cardinal rule is first step
Yes,
back.
absolutely. He did a Brandon Marsh.
He came charging.
But it wasn't a can of corn catch, though. That's not a can of corn. Can of corn is you're under it. Yeah. He had to run back on that ball.
Yeah.
And he would have had to run back either way on that ball because that ball flew. The second one's a can of corn.
All right.
He should catch that ball easy.
I think the first one was very catchable.
Oh, no, very catchable, yes.
Taking 4 steps in will do that to you. Bases were loaded, allowed 3 runs to score if he just makes that catch. And then the very next batter hits a fly ball to center, and he lost it in the sun, and it falls right next to him. Another run scores.
The sunglasses, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the sunglasses.
So the Pirates pull Skeens after just 2/3 of an inning. He throws 37 pitches. They're basically like, yep, not worth it. His ERA to start the season, Johnny, is a 67.50.
Good. Maybe it'll help Christopher Sanchez win a Cy Young.
And
that's
that's
the way
why
I was
the odds
looking at
shifted
it.
yesterday. Christopher Sanchez was the second runner. It was the runner-up for odds going into the season.
And I like that.
He's now the favorite at plus 350.
Too bad. You know, the things like that happen. Too bad.
Absolutely.
I like that that went down in our favor yesterday.
All right, another storyline from yesterday. The White Sox are a disgrace to baseball. Now, remember, we were watching them last year to see if they were going to make history because of the amount of games that they lost last year. They were in the 40s last year, right? Oh, no, that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago was 41 wins. Last year, big uptick. They won 60 games last year. They are a disgrace to the sport of baseball. They lost 14-2 yesterday. The reason why I bring it up is because the Brewers, a team that you're going to keep an eye on throughout the National League this year, they put up a 14 spot. And the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, the guy that got the All-Star nod over Christopher Sanchez, he did have a really good outing.
But Munetaka Murakami went yard, so Bidets are all the way back in Chicago.
Yeah, but they were in Milwaukee, so I don't know if he had
a bidet.
I don't know if he had a clean.
He had a bidet.
I don't know if he had to clean buttocks.
BYOB.
I don't think
Bring
he had
your
a
own bidet.
I don't think that actually it does work that way.
By the way, they don't. You can get them at Home Depot where you can retrofit your own turlet.
You don't think these teams? Did you say turlet?
Yeah, you can do the own turlet.
It was a pun.
You're able to do that.
You poop in there.
Yes.
So that's another storyline from yesterday.
Yes, you go.
Local kid.
Unbelievable.
The Phillies don't believe this to be allowed.
You're not allowed to have young players do this stuff.
So Kevin McGonigal, who is from the Philadelphia area.
Monsignor Bonner.
Yep. He's a Bonner kid. Grew up in Alden, Pennsylvania. He makes his major league debut at 21 years old. The Tigers say, we have a good baseball player.
Club.
We have a good club. We have a window. Let's not screw around and do the whole, we're not going to call him up until May because of service time. That's what the Pirates are doing. The Pirates are going to be doing that with their star prospect.
That's what the Phillies do.
It's what the Phillies do. It's what the Cubs did with the Chris Bryants and Rizzos of the world. They do this. Let's wait a little bit before we call these guys up so that we can control them longer. And then who knows what opportunities you take away from your team. Kevin McGonigal makes his Major League debut yesterday, goes 4 for 5, drives in 2 runs, and I believe I saw it somewhere. It's the most bases accumulated by a player of his age in his Major League debut. Just the 6th player since 1900 to tally 4 hits in his MLB debut.
I'd never root for anything Bonner, but I will root for Mr. McGonigal to have a fantastic career.
Yeah.
And I hate Bonner, but I will root for them big time. What a spectacular debut.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. And you know what's great is that maybe the Phillies will take notice.
That would be nice.
Young players, you can give them a chance.
There's this.
You can do this.
Dave Dombrowski and Daryl Morey must have coffee together, right? Like, hey, the older the better, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Both of them
don't understand it.
They have the same school of thought.
I don't understand it. And I honestly, if I was an executive, if I was a billionaire that had a franchise, I would never want to have an executive that had that mindset.
Well,
running my team.
Good thing we have 2 of those.
I want young. I want young thinking. I want young minds. I wouldn't like it.
Now here's one big one. We have the ABS Opening Day Challenge stats.
The ABS Opening Day Challenge.
So yesterday was the first day in Major League Baseball history where batters were able to challenge. Now you could tell their strategy behind it because the Rangers, Jake Berger, one of Christopher Sanchez's 10 strikeouts yesterday. Jake Berger got called out on strike 3. The pitch was out of the zone, like a lot. And he hesitated and did not tap the head because there's strategy behind it, right? Like, what's the point of challenging this pitch?
Right.
Because now there's 2 outs in the inning, nobody on base. What's the one extra crack at it that I get? Like, what's the point of this? I want to save this till a later inning. JT Realmuto yesterday, in his first or second at bat, strike 1 was inside off the plate by like 3 or 4 inches. And you could tell he wanted to tap the helmet, but why would you do that on the first pitch of an at bat? You're going to save that if it's a potential strikeout call.
Correct.
And so you see Realmuto. This is where we're eventually going to get to the full automatic balls and strikes.
After the lockout, that's where we'll be.
Because yesterday, like, Realmuto, if he challenged it, would have won. Like, he would have won. But he's basically like, why would I do this at this point of the game?
I like the strategy of that. I like having to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'd rather just, if we're going to do it, just go fully automatic. So hitters were 9 for 15 yesterday. Catchers were 10 for 14 yesterday. Pitchers were 0 for 1, and the 0 was the Phillies.
Yes, by 0.1 inches.
Who was it that challenged?
I believe it was Zach Pop.
It was Pop, yeah. Zach Pop challenged, and he just missed it. So the Phillies, the first, how about that? Zach Pop, history. First pitcher in Major League Baseball history to challenge a call, and he got it wrong. Congratulations to Zach Pop.
Let's go, Phils.
First of 10,000 losses, and the first pitcher to ever challenge a ball or strike. So yesterday the stats were 19 of 30 overall.
And do you want who do you want challenging?
The catcher.
The catcher.
They got the best read of the zone.
Correct. The catcher should be there.
All due respect to Zach Pop.
No, Zach Pop should never, ever again speak.
Zach Pop's thinking, I threw a 15 ERA in spring. I need all the help I can get.
He should not speak unless spoken to.
Yeah.
No, terrible.
All right, by the way, you can confirm this.
Yes?
YouTube chat. Random conversation about hugs. And somebody was wondering if I'm a hugger. I am.
Oh, you are.
I'm a hugsman.
No, he's a hugser. Big time.
Now, is this a compliment? Mopar chimed in. This is how it got started because Mopar's not a hugger. And I said, I have hugged Mopar once. He is taller and skinnier than I thought. So did you think I was short and round?
Well, first off, I do not consider you skinny.
Yeah, I'm buff, bro.
No, I don't consider you buff. No, I mean, you're in good shape.
Me and Coach Carter.
But I don't consider you skinny. Like, I wouldn't call you skinny. Dutsy's skinny.
I'm average. How about that?
No, you're not. The average guy would like to look like you.
Oh, that's nice.
Would like to be built
very
like
much.
You. So I would say that.
But
you're not skinny. But no, is that you're definitely there. I mean,
every fan fest, somebody at one point would come up to me saying, "I thought you were fat." Why?
you always get that.
Why?
You always get that.
Based off of just my voice,
I guess so.
I sound fat.
It's somebody at
A lot of heavy breathing from that microphone.
somebody the other night at Knockout goes, "You're taller than I would have thought." I said, "Thank you."
They thought you were short and scrappy.
I said, "Okay, thank you." I said, "I really like that." He goes, "That's good."
Somebody thought you got a facelift.
And he touches me on his shoulders. He goes, "Yes." He touches me on my shoulders as he says it too. He goes, "You're taller than I would have thought." As he touched me on the shoulders. I said, "Well, thank you very much." It was like you're coming to America. Yes. It's like, welcome in.
All right, what do we have?
I
on the
appreciate it.
Davis Honda text line at 610-632-0975.
All right, so we have a check-in from Colby in Central PA who says, "Good morning, man. It's great the baseball is back, and we started with a win. Even better. Big picture, though, we only scored runs with the long ball and left 7 on base. The trend continues from last year."
Yeah, it's game one. Like, I get it. It has been a problem for the Phillies. They live and die by the long ball. They do. I
can't walk away from yesterday doing anything but smiling.
I can't. That's why
Except
I wanted to.
by a bad, relief pitchers' decisions, in my opinion.
I can't even crush Thompson. They're on 5-0 opening day.
No, I just say.
Yeah, we have the NL Cy Young, but did you see the strikeouts?
No, I'm so excited about. There's so many good things for this team.
That's why the show sheet says Sanchez outing, Justin Crawford debut, Schwarber picks up, Bohm home run.
And to me, again, it's the outing of a youngster getting his start.
Yeah.
That's what I like the best.
All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. Before that, a streak that we've been following for a long time ended yesterday, Johnny. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Unfiltered High School.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, quick correction. Mopar on our YouTube chat is a hugger. I misread. I didn't go far back enough. Sometimes you guys chat so much that sometimes I don't scroll back far enough.
He is a hugger. We've managed to.
Yes, just want to clear that up because that's important information. During the break, off-air conversation, me, Connor, and John. John and I were trying to tell Connor that there has been an uptick.
Big time.
If you listen to our commercial breaks, we appreciate you because that makes our advertisers happy, and that keeps the lights on for
They're
us.
very happy with it, yes.
John and I, the last couple of days, were like, man, doesn't it feel like every commercial now or every other commercial has a jingle or it's a song?
Yes.
And Connor's like, well, that's nothing new in radio. And we're like, yeah, but like it feels like
it's a resurgence.
Like there's more. I found an article from 2024, so just 2 years ago, where jingles were out. No more jingles. No, we don't do jingles.
Outdated.
No jingles or mascots. NJM Insurance. They're like, no, we're not doing that. So I Googled it. Are jingles on the rise in advertising? They are because of TikTok. And with music in the background of all these influencers,
correct.
They have found out that TikTok influencers makes it better for having ads with jingles. That's why you hear the Piccalilli song. That's why you hear So Easy You Can Do It in Your Underwear. And there's like 5 others in one commercial break. Studies are showing, your daughter could probably figure this one out.
Yes, this is what now her life is.
Music improves brand engagement by 24%, according to a recent study. I knew it because I've been singing the same songs every day.
You have had the earworm today, the earworms. Now, we all have different earworms. Connor, you don't do the earworm thing.
No, not really.
Connor does not do this. You do it, I do it, and mine will tend to be a whistle.
Yeah.
I'm a whistler. And my daughter even said, she goes, I'm going to miss hearing Dad whistle.
I won't.
But you won't.
When that Price is Right episode airs.
Price is Right, baby. I think it's like 93 days or something.
Yeah,
but it's that you get the earworms. Those ads, it works for me.
Yeah.
It works for me. It gets in my ear.
And then you remember
that
it.
Piccalilli, I've done the Piccalilli song in my head and then I hear it, and then I do it again, and I don't know the words. I'm just doing the Piccalilli. The Piccalilli.
Good job by our advertisers.
Yes, I like that. It's fun.
All right. I won't steal. I did not realize that the streak that I was going to speak on is a story in today's headline. So let's just get to it right now, Connor.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Yeah, we got a bonus one in today's headlines that you were going to bring up, so we'll get to that a little bit later on in opening day.
I'm not going to steal from it. I didn't know you had it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We'll lead with it then. Tyler O'Neill, we've talked about this many years in a row because he had a 6-straight-year streak of homering on opening day. And unfortunately, the dream is dead. He did not homer.
So many people bet it yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like it was a huge bet. The sports books made a killing yesterday.
You're saying Vegas made the call?
Yeah, no.
So no Tyler
Let's
O'Neill
just say they made a killing.
But that is a crazy. Again, earlier today, 2 baseball stats we gave you. First ever home save by a Phillies pitcher since saves started getting counted on opening day. 1969 was when saves started getting counted. Johan Duran got the first home save in Phillies franchise history on opening day. Christopher Sanchez, first pitcher in the modern era to go at least 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks, 3 or less hits, and no earned runs. First in the modern era to do that on opening day. And we have a guy that had 6 straight opening days where he hit a home run. Like, that's insane.
Crazy.
Baseball's awesome, man. Baseball stats are the best. That's why Jason Stark has his weird and wild baseball stats column that he always puts out.
Damn right.
It's great stuff.
Now, if you're Tyler O'Neill, you're swinging for the fences on opening day,
Have
right?
to. I'd rather strike out 4 times and try and hit one out.
He went 1 for 2 yesterday in a walk.
Run scored.
He batted .500 to start the season. .667 on base percentage. Pretty good start.
Yeah, productive day. Something that might hurt productivity in the city of Philadelphia. Have you seen the new law that was passed? Or I guess it's a new
soda tax or something?
Permit. Oh, no,
what?
this is a good one. Philadelphia bars during the World Cup, there will be a 40-day window where they can choose to stay open till 4 a.m.
Why can I ask you something? Is that there was a big outrage about this. Now, you have both lived in the city recently. I only lived in the city right after college. So it was a long time ago. There seemed to be a lot of fighting and outrage about this. What was
What's the outrage?
Like
I
people
haven't
were
seen
complaining
that.
about? No, there were a lot of people they were having hearings about it. People trying to stop it and block it.
Well, I can understand people not wanting folks to spill out onto the street any later than they already do, but
It's for a special event.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Like,
It's for the World Cup.
welcome to any country. When I was in Lithuania, our return flight was like 6 o'clock in the morning. Dude, I saw guys stumbling down the street. Like, it's like only a rule around here.
yeah, bars should never close.
Like, to me, you have a lot of people who will be flying in and getting up at weird hours and doing business at weird hours. I don't understand it. Like, let's try to make it as welcoming as possible.
Yeah, but it's passed, so it will happen. So
Good.
if your bar is open till 4 a.m., shoot me a text or a DM. I will be there until you guys close.
Sounds good.
March Madness is something worth staying up late for. We had some games last night, including a major mistake by Nebraska in their loss to Iowa.
Marcus Lawrence, you put all that. Look at this pass. Oh, my goodness. Fulguris. What happened?
Well, that was a major defensive breakdown. Wait a minute. I think Nebraska only had 4 defenders on the floor. They did. Rink Mast is not on the floor.
Biggest spot in the game, you're down a man.
How?
Couldn't
Now
tell you.
that's got to be that's coach primarily or players primarily.
Coach.
And there's how many coaches on the bench? Probably
27.
Yeah.
Correct. Are you freaking kidding me that they had 4 players on the court? That's so embarrassing.
Got caught up in the moment.
Yeah, you
That's
can't-
where Coach
no,
K.
it's bad.
That's where Coach K and the Roy Williams of the day and those things where they just have the confidence and the calmness in those moments.
I mean, I don't think it takes Coach K to count to 5.
No, but the thing is, though, that's a coaching staff that's
My 4-year-old
that's getting
can help
caught up
that.
in it and not paying attention.
So if you missed it with the opening day stuff going on, Purdue took down Texas, Iowa beats Nebraska, Illinois holds Houston to 55 points, and they advance, and Arizona beats Arkansas by 21. So those are the teams that advance, and we got some good basketball this weekend to keep an eye on. We're going to round out with making fun of the Mets, because there's always something that happens with the Mets, and opening day was no different. Now, it's opening day for everybody, including people singing the national anthem. Chris Jackson was on the anthem for the Mets yesterday, and everybody, I would love if you could remove your caps and honor our country by singing the words completely incorrectly.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, what so proudly we hailed, were so gallantly streamed.
Not the words there, Chris. Well, they are, but not the right order. I guess it's
Did he
opening
get
day for
scared?
everyone, but
Probably got scared.
But this is a man who performs on Broadway. He performs in front of sold-out crowds and stuff like that. Like I can't imagine he's scared.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
surprising. And anybody can choke at any time.
Yeah, anybody.
Give the man some grace.
Yeah.
He has a beautiful voice.
He does.
Also, I wonder if Paul Skeens, though, is a great American that he is, big fan of this country. I wonder if that threw him off for a start up
Maybe
there.
it did. Maybe that was a play by the Mets.
And it might have been a smart one.
By the way, too, grown men. Did you see what the Mets had with the people with the Mets and Mets security?
No.
Grown men stopped it. They had to keep people because Libby Dunn was sitting in the stands.
People.
And these grown men coming by trying to like dudes.
Yeah, people being weird.
Seriously,
man.
go buy a magazine, dudes.
There's a lot of weird people out there, man. A lot of weird
grow
people
up.
out there.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
She's a woman. I know you haven't seen many of them. They're like they had to have security. Like, guys, stop taking pictures of Libby Dunn.
By the way, one of my favorite spots in Lithuania. Here are their hours during the summer. They open at 11 a.m. and they close at 5 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, and they clean it up. That's like the Miami bars.
Yeah, they clean it up.
them
They clean it up for 6
Yeah,
hours.
exactly. Clean up, and
they're
then they
back
open up
open
again.
a couple hours later.
That's why
man.
I love Nolan's.
I have been there till 3, and I've been there back at open the next day. It's a nice spot.
There you go.
All right, coming up next, it's a Friday, which means Fridays with Fedul. Amy is here, ready to go. We get her reactions to opening day. I know she was in the building yesterday. And are we going to lose our mind this season? Because a lot of you are already freaking out after one game. But they won it. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update
162-0, still on the table. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies started off their season 1-0, taking down the Rangers 5-3 on opening day yesterday. Christopher Sanchez dominant on the mound, throwing 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts. It was a gem of a performance by him. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both homered in the win, and Justin Crawford had 2 hits in his major league debut. He met up with John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia after the game to talk about the emotion of that day.
I felt good, obviously, the little jitters before every game, but once the game got rolling, I was able to kind of just click into this baseball, go play, and thankfully I was able to kind of put a good swing on a couple balls. A day that I'll remember the rest of my life.
Phillies have the day off today. They'll play Game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow, 4:05 p.m. First pitch from the bag. The Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night. The offense got going in that one. They face the Red Wings tomorrow night. Another huge game as they try and find their way into the postseason. And the Sixers, they're doing the same. They face the Hornets tomorrow. It's a busy Saturday for Philly sports. Amy Fedul joins us coming up next. She'll be with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Uber Eats. Philly, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Coco's Cookies and Creamery from now till March 31st. Get a buy one, get one free deal on a milkshake all on the Uber Eats app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Now.
Yeah, you got more of Kincade and Salciunas, but you also have
Bonus.
Amy Fedul because it is a
Bonus.
Fridays with Fedul. Amy, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Happy day after opening day.
Yes.
How was it for you? You were at the ballpark yesterday.
I was there. It was great. Great weather, great times, great game. Everybody was in high spirits for the most part.
There's
definitely
awesome?
some colorful language out there. I love it. The positivity only limits itself to certain certain times. Apparently, it was great.
Adalis Garcia is also Nick Castellanos and Max Kepler and Whit Merrifield. We know that after one game. And look, people
That's
might
my
not.
favorite. The
people
panic.
might not
oh
be
my
wrong.
gosh, this guy can't do anything. I'm like, it's day one.
It's March.
Right.
It's day one. This is a really long season,
Easter
friend.
Bunny hasn't come yet.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. Come on now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you were at the ballpark yesterday. It was a beautiful day.
Beautiful
yesterday,
day
which
for a
is
game.
great. Curious. I know your two boys have bright futures athletically. Will they sue you at one point?
I hope not. Hopefully, I haven't done that bad of a job that it comes to that when they're older.
How do you handle that story? Like
Yeah.
if you're a member of the media, but B, if you're a
they
player.
have to handle it. You have to handle it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm glad that I wasn't like having to report on that yesterday. Obviously, in the future, that will come to pass.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. This isn't a one-off. This story's going to continue to have legs.
There's going to be updates from this lawsuit. In case people don't know, Alec Bohm is suing his parents over the way they handled his funds when he was first starting in Major League Baseball. Now he's about to get a big paycheck. He got a big paycheck this year, $10 million.
Right,
but he's going to soon get a big contract. And
I feel so.
Ryan Howard did that. Remember?
Did he really?
He sued his dad, I think,
I don't
something like
remember
that, or his brother. There was some family drama that way after one of his big contracts, a mishandling of finances.
I feel so much.
Very tough.
So much for him, though. That this story, first of all, that he's got to do it, and second of all, that he has to do it. But then, second of all, that it has to be public.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you file a lawsuit. Unfortunately, there's no such you can't seal those documents when it's a civil lawsuit like that. Supposedly, allegedly, it's defrauding him out of millions of dollars.
$3 million is what they're asking for in this lawsuit.
Yeah, it's interesting. You want to say that there's two sides to every story. I don't know what the other side would be for the parents if there was some, if it was just sheer negligence or if it really was some kind of mistake on their part that they didn't realize. You never know, but it doesn't look good. And at the end of the day, these are his parents, and you want to think like, did it come to this? How bad did it get? Was there what was leading up to this? That this was the last straw, so to speak. I can't imagine this was the first thing that he came through.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
It's just uncomfortable conversations.
Hey, what's going on with this? And
we don't want to think it, but he obviously thinks it because he's filed the lawsuit.
Right.
Like we don't want to believe it because we're all parents, and we don't want to think that it would ever come to that. Alec obviously thinks it's going on. I just feel for the guy because it's got to be a horrendous feeling.
Oh, I mean,
the worst.
These are your parents, and that's the first thing. Any athletes when they make it, I want to thank my parents for all the hours and hours and hours of dedicating their lives, of taking me to and from places, and so you wonder what led up to this, all the events, because I'm assuming, I think rightfully so, that this was not the first step.
Yeah,
trying to get to this point.
No, he wants the account. He wants the accounts.
Yeah,
it could all be just turn over the accounts right now. Don't have to go to a lawsuit. Turn over the accounts to the guy. Let him have that, and but there's some resistance.
It's a shame because the Alec Bohm has a nice day yesterday. Hits the big home run that ends up being the game-winning home run because of the 3 runs allowed by the Bacchus later on in the game, and so the Phillies get the win. And one of the first questions is, Hey, by the way, so this came out publicly during the festivities. Any comments? And he said he wasn't going to talk about it, which that's totally okay. But anyways, baseball-wise, so you were in the ballpark in the stands, and I saw social media reacting to Bryce Harper, reacting to Adalis Garcia, reacting to JT Realmuto. My takeaway was. John's takeaway was, Connor's takeaway was Christopher Sanchez's dominance, right? Great to see Alec Bohm hit the home run. Schwarber picks up where he left off. Justin Crawford, you can pencil in at center field. That is amazing. But there are people, after one game, you're saying colorful language?
There was a few people that were in our section. We were over on the first baseline near where the ball girl sits. So in that kind of, I don't know, not corner, but on the way to the corner. And there was definitely a couple people where there wasn't a reaction to Bryce Harper so much, I think, because at least he worked a count. It was when you're looking at the first 3 pitches, they're all swings and misses for like JT Realmuto didn't work a count that well.
Right.
And so you heard a little bit of like, oh, is this more of the same? Is it going to take till July that he's going to heat up? And I remember looking at the over like, it's March 26th. Like, it's March 26th.
If it does take till July, you're going to lose your mind.
Exactly, sir. You need to pace yourself, okay? You got to put the beer down and just calm down for just a second. But, I mean, overall, it really wasn't that vibe. There was the only colorful language was when Backus was relieved. And they were like, okay, well, that was enough of that guy. And then the only reason people were kind of like, at least okay with that was because it meant they got to see Duran.
Right, they got to see the entrance.
Donnie was like, well, this week we're going to see Johan Duran.
By the way,
I was like,
the entrance does not hit
it doesn't have the same feel.
It's not the
They
same.
didn't do, Sean was like, they didn't do the lights. I'm like, they couldn't really do the lights.
Plus, when you have to when he has to come in that type of safe
you're
situation.
disappointed
when he's coming in because he wasn't even supposed to have to get up.
Yeah, that was the real kind of like, oh no. And I was like, oh, it's one guy in the bullpen. Like, but no, I didn't hear because I saw it on social media and I feel like a lot of people were talking about it after the fact, but in the game, you didn't feel that there was that disappointment with any of the people you named. I think you came away with, wow, Sanchez really good.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber, that's going to be fun again. Let's do that. And then Justin Crawford, like what a debut. That was Justin Crawford's debut really was like overriding of everything.
It's what you wanted. It's he's not going to hit for power, and that's fine. It's can he put the ball in remember the ground ball rate was the concern for a lot of people last year, so much so that the Phillies couldn't call him up because Kepler was swinging a hot bat but because he was doing steroids. Justin Crawford, he's up here to play every day. We had a texter earlier saying, I'm already expecting him to not be in the lineup tomorrow because that's what the Phillies do. He was brought up here this year, was not last year because they didn't find a place to play him every day. He's going to play every day, and if he's hitting singles and then is a threat on the base path, which, by the way, maybe that's why Kyle Schwarber or Alec Bohm gets a cookie and he hits a home run. Like, I don't know. His threat on the base paths helps out everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first thing when you saw him get on. And just to get that hit in your first at-bat is incredible.
First pitch.
It was unbelievable.
Jumped on it.
And we were all just like, let's go. But he's sitting there, and everybody's like, Johnny starts it, and there's a couple of people. Is he going to steal the first? Is he going to steal second? Is he going to steal second?
Right.
Like that's everyone else's mind. So you know it's in the pitcher's mind because that's what you know about him. That's the book on him is that speed. So I think that threat of that, I think the excitement of having an everyday center fielder, I think was really when we were walking out and everybody's talking because we stayed to the very, very end.
Damn right you do.
We stay to the end.
Because your child wants you to, right?
It sure does.
I
don't leave sporting events early because of him, which is great. But that was a lot of people, you hear the rumblings of like people talking and what everybody's talking about as you're kind of filing out. And there's 40,000 people filing out. And I feel like a lot of the conversations were about, wow, look at Justin Crawford. Wasn't that fun? I think that was one of the overriding things. Like it really was a fun game to watch. Yeah, Backus didn't look so good. It's one game, but I think you came away with, all right, well, Duran's still really good.
Right,
Schwarber's still really good. And, oh, look how much fun Justin Crawford's going to be.
I'm all in. I mean, I'm all in on the opening day positivity. I always laugh at when a team does lose the opener and people lose their mind.
Season's over.
But it's so weird to watch how much even my own mood gets changed by one win. Like it was a good
feeling.
Win is a nice way to start.
I think it's the way that it came too. Like the things that you wanted to happen happened.
You didn't strike out 14 times.
Right.
Mackenzie Gore struck out 14 Phillies last year.
Yeah, that was like you're sitting there like, well, that's not good. Yeah, that's not fun.
Like
to
you
watch.
got 8 hits off of a guy that had a 170 ERA last year.
Evaldi's really good pitcher. And honestly, he had a pretty good outing.
Got a good club.
When you're looking at overall, he gave up that mistake to Kyle Schwarber, but he's not going to be the only one. I mean, 56 times last year that happened.
Right.
You're not alone in that one. He's a good pitcher. He had a decent outing, and I think overall you would have looked at that and been like, all right, well, that's actually pretty good against this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, before we get back to the Davis Honda text line, Connor, let's play it now. Justin Crawford, after his Major League debut yesterday, where he goes 2 for 4, has the 2 singles, scores a run yesterday as well on the home run by Alec Bohm, which was part of that 3-run shot, which gave them the 5-0 lead. Phillies win 5-3 yesterday. Here was Justin Crawford. John Clark, of course John Clark was there, caught up with him postgame.
Could you feel your family support in the stands when you were up there for your first Major League at bat?
Oh, definitely. It was pretty cool because after I got it, they put them on the big screen. I was able to kind of see them all, and I was like, I mean, that's something I was dreaming of since I was a little kid. And being able to share that moment with them all here is really, really special to me. And it's just something I'll remember the rest of my life.
And your dad has been through it as a pro, but yet he said he was so nervous in that moment. He kind of felt relieved when you got your first hit. How did you feel?
I felt good. I think he was probably a little more nervous than I was, honestly. But I felt good. Obviously, the little jitters before every game. But once the game got rolling, I was able to kind of just click into this baseball, go play. And thankfully, I was able to kind of put a good swing on a couple balls.
I'll tell you what, this is a pretty special day, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Day that I'll remember the rest of my life. And I'm just trying to enjoy every piece of it and have a good time with my family.
That's awesome.
That makes me happy.
Look,
That's a great day.
I don't think he'll be his dad. His dad was
they're different hitters.
amazing.
Yeah, they're different hitters.
Yeah, his dad had a little bit more pop too.
Yeah.
But look, there's a lot of people buy into the gene pool sometimes. And look, he comes out right away. He's been hitting 300 at every level of the minor leagues and starts his career batting 500 after opening day.
Yeah, I think that obviously the gene pool can play a factor in it, but I think just him being around the game for as long as he's been, there's not going to be that worry of, is he going to be able to handle that major league pressure? Does he not know what it's like? I mean, that's a concern. A lot of the guys that are in the minors, then they come up, there's that learning curve. It still is, you're learning how to be a professional baseball player. Justin Crawford's learned how to do that since he was probably 12 years old.
Do you think he cried when the Phillies won the World Series? He was 3 years old.
No.
He might have been. He might have been sad.
He was well asleep.
He might have been sad.
That was like 11 at night.
What? If your dad was playing in the World Series, you think you would?
3 years old, it's 11 at night. I bet he was asleep.
Could Cooper stay up till 3 a.m. if he wanted to? Sure, he could.
If he wanted to, give him some cookies.
Exactly. Take a nap earlier in the day.
He'd keep on going. Actually, no, he was 4. He's a January baby, so he's 4 years old.
4 years old.
Oh, yeah, he was locked in. He was locked in, and Justin Crawford definitely cried.
Yeah, he was definitely sad.
The Phillies made Justin Crawford cry before they drafted him.
Baby Justin Crawford.
All right, what do we have on
remember, he tried to say he's an Eagles fan.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he wore the Eagles shirt, too. Remember, during spring training? He did the one interview wearing the Eagles shirt.
He took a page from Bryce Harper's book.
He's trying to do the pander thing.
So, listen.
He's not an Eagles fan. Come on.
You can do that. Do you want Ben Simmons again? No. Go ahead. Wear the shirt, guys. Wear it. Pander. We don't care.
By the way,
part of the community.
I did not see it because I was teaching. What did Bryce wear yesterday?
Like to the game?
His jersey?
Just like a Canadian tuxedo is what he wore to the game.
So there was nothing yesterday.
He went Canadian tuxedo?
Remember opening day, home opener was always a
Fanatic
Bryce
suit.
and Fanatic something.
Fanatic suit.
Yeah.
He wore nothing yesterday.
I mean, he wore clothes.
Thank you, Amy, for your great.
It was a Canadian tuxedo is what he wore.
Okay.
I don't know if there was anything on it.
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
It's a Canadian tuxedo, right?
Now, some of these athletes, I think they look good with the clothes that they wear.
They all do it. They all do it. They all do
horrible.
it.
Okay,
it's almost James Harden Cookie Monster.
Okay, did he wear anything?
That's like the worst one.
Fanatic?
No.
Look back at all the opening days.
He wore some Timbs.
Didn't he always wear something?
I feel like one time he did like the suit, but it was the inside. But that wasn't Fanatic. That was like baseball cards or something.
You're missing something.
What am I missing?
He never has to wear Fanatic clothes because he's got it on his skin, baby.
He's their best friend.
Yeah, I guess
because he's got the tattoo. He's always rocking the Fanatic.
By the way, that's what one of the things Ted, our money guy, got us in is tattoo removal will be the big business 10, 15 years ago. Like he got in the weed stocks 10, 15 years ago. Get in on the tattoo removal.
You're welcome. All right, what do we have on the Davis
Thanks
Honda
for paying
text
for that
line?
retirement fund.
Feel the Davis difference. Check them out, Burlington.
Brian in West Palm Beach, Florida checks in. He says, I'm excited for this Phillies team this year more than last season. I think this pitching staff could be the best in baseball. It's possible that once Wheeler returns, the starting five all finish with sub-4 ERAs this season. If so, it's a World Series return written all over it.
Well, yeah, as long as they come through in the playoffs. But I'm not even talking about October. I'm talking about regular season. So I hear what the texts are saying. We didn't get into this yesterday. You were talking about how John Kincade thought this roster was better than last year's roster on opening day. Bill Colarulo 2 days ago, I wrote it down, we just never got to it. Bill Colarulo believes since 2022, this is the best opening day roster for the Phillies. And he's right. You're right. You guys
I think it is.
Your bullpen's like locked in. Like it's solidified. Your rotation, because we now know who Christopher Sanchez is.
Right.
By the way, don't forget, 2022, the year they go to the World Series, that season started with Didi Gregorius was one of your starters. Stott was a third baseman on that team. Odubel was your starting center fielder, right? Or no, it was
it was
Matty
not Odubel.
Carshields.
Yeah.
Right.
Matty Carshields.
Don't forget Matt Vierling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, this team is considerably better.
Nobody knew who Jose Alvarado was.
No.
Nobody thought that he was going to be the pitcher that he was that year. And you have a closer.
You still had there were questions about Ranger in 2022.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on this, but having a closer.
No, you're not putting too much emphasis.
Like having a closer and just being able to work backwards in the bullpen.
That was the big sign. I mean, last year I think everybody felt okay. At least you have one piece in the bullpen that you can be very, very reliant upon.
That's why we were upset that Estevez didn't come back and Hoffman didn't come back because you're like, whoa.
Yeah, what's going on with the back of the bullpen?
The guys that I knew
what are we doing here?
Could come in and get the job done or aren't here anymore.
Yeah, when they lost Joffman, you were like, oh, that's Joffman.
Joffman. He was my best friend for like 10 minutes in an interview.
You and Joff?
We were best buddies for
Nice.
10 minutes in an interview. What else we got on the Davis Honda text line?
VT Ron checks in and says, hey, I'm just glad baseball is back because our winter sports teams haven't had the best season. Schwarber just picked up where he left off from last year, and I'm not worried about the hitting at all. I don't show up to the worry party until May.
Oh.
Yeah.
The worry party till May. Okay.
May worry party.
Well, I don't do look, individuals, I can join a worry party at any time. The team, no. Yeah. I mean, the team, the most successful years they've gone in the playoffs, the Phillies have been a 500 club at June. 22 and 23.
Yeah.
They've been 500 in June. So if you worry too early about what they're doing, history would indicate to you the Phillies are going to make you look dumb.
Now, in fairness, like if JT Realmuto is
That's an
batting
individual.
120.
That's an individual.
Like, sure. But then we talked about Marsh a little bit. Brandon Marsh last year.
Oh, for April.
Was it 0 for 29 or am I imagining?
No, 0 for April. So he was 0 for the entire month of April.
I think it was some outlandish number that you just can't even imagine.
He went 0 for April. He was batting 95 at the end of April.
He got him down.
He got sent down April 16th, right? He comes back up. He immediately gets 2 hits. So 0.095 when he gets sent down on April 16th.
That's incredible.
And was able to climb
and he hit
that
280.
up. 280.
That is wild.
That is unbelievable.
I don't think people can fully appreciate how hard that is to do unless you've had that grade in class and it was a D and you had to work everything you could to get that thing up to a C.
To me, he mentally.
You know what I mean? The people, it's like, that's wild to me to have that kind of turnaround.
He overcame. That tells you, though, a lot about Brandon Marsh. That mentally he's tough because
a lot of people would have been like, that's
seeing
it.
that on the board, you're like, I'm never going to dig out of that.
He hit 338 in September.
Yeah. He hit 300 for like large chunks of the summer.
And again, as much as I don't like the JT Realmuto thing,
or close
he had
to.
He had a good 8 weeks.
Yeah, he did.
He finished, honestly, the problem I think that we felt was the bats did finish strong in the regular season. And you thought, fool's gold, is this going to actually carry over to the postseason? And that's where the disappointment lied because you saw them hitting in September and in August. Guys that weren't hitting in May and June came to play, and you're thinking, all right, we're all set.
Yeah.
October.
And then October happened.
Nope.
And all the hot streaks ended at the same time.
Not all set.
My freshman year of college, when I was not doing too well in life, and I was just questioning.
Isn't that a trend for almost all of us? Maybe not Amy.
No,
Maybe
I almost
Amy
left
was a
the
better
States,
student.
dude. I had no idea what I was doing in my life. I needed a 94 on my final to pass the class. Oh, my God. And I got a 96, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
It was the only thing I studied for. I was like, all these other finals can go pound sand. I'm
locked in, baby.
Yeah.
That's an amazing score in a final.
Because I tried. It's like knockout.
That's an amazing score in a final. Congratulations.
I needed a 94 to pass.
Oh, my gosh.
I wouldn't congratulate myself too much, Johnny.
I'd wet my pants just sweating knowing I needed that score. That'd be too much.
God, it scared the hell out of me.
That's awesome.
I was like,
You did it.
How am I going to I don't want to redo this class.
You did it.
Coming up next, Justin Crawford's debut. Pretty good. Where does it rank amongst some other Phillies that we know that made their major league debuts in the modern era? We'll tell you who and what next. Also, we'll check the poll. Did Justin Crawford change how you feel about the team moving forward? It's Kincade Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app because FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, they're hooking you up. If you're a new customer, you can save up to $300 in bonus bets back every day for the next 10 days or as a part of this 10-day stretch. Here's how it works. Place a tournament bet using the token. And if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets. That's $300 in bonus bets. Take a shot at the bet that you're hesitant to make. If you win, that's great. But if you lose, that's okay. So maybe you were like, all right, let's keep riding the hot hand in Texas. I'm going to put the money down on Texas. Texas doesn't win last night in the tournament. Well, you got your money back up to $300. You can even mix things up with same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. You could still bet the futures. There's no lock team to win the NCAA tournament. If you have a feel about one of the teams, go for it. Bet it. What are you waiting for? Just visit FanDuel.com/local to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/local. You got to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Bonus bets are now drawable and expire 7 days at the receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil start 1-0. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies started off their season with a win yesterday, taking down the Rangers 5-3 on opening day. Christopher Sanchez, he had a great opener, dominant on the mound, throwing 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts for him. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both went yard in the victory. Justin Crawford, 2 hits, his major league debut. Alec Bohm talked after the game about how getting that first win is important.
We always joke you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. So opening day, the energy's high, and everybody's happy, everybody's clicking, and yeah, it's just a good feeling to go get the first one.
That's just one of 162, but it's always good to start off with a win. The Phils have the day off today. They'll play Game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night as the offense got going. They will play the Red Wings tomorrow night at 8. Sixers face the Hornets tomorrow as well. Busy Saturday for Philadelphia sports. Amy Fedul remains with us for the remainder of the show. Kevin Nagati joins us at 9:05. Scott Lauber will call in at 9:30 to react to opening day. This update is brought to you by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecast with WeatherBug. It's easy to use, so the weather never takes you by surprise. Download the free WeatherBug app today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Midday. sports talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we'll give you some other key debuts over the years of Phillies franchise history. I will give you some of the more modern names because unless Amy wants to break down, had Ted Kaczynski in 1953. He went 3 for 6 with
Ted
2 doubles.
Kaczynski
Please tell
was
me
the
it's not Ted
Unabomber.
Kaczynski.
Ted Kaczynski
That's not
was
right.
the Unabomber.
Are you sure that's correct?
That's not right.
Kazansky?
No, Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber.
That's the Unabomber.
Kazanski.
Kaczynski.
Kazansky.
Yeah,
Ted
let's
Kaczynski.
pronunciate that.
Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber.
Ted Kazansky was the Unabomber on June 25th, 1953, when he went 3 for 6 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs in
Did
Chicago.
they call him that day?
I don't know.
Oh, he called himself that. That was a self-imposed nickname.
So I'll give you some of these debuts in a little bit. But let's check the Dr. Avidan Appel poll. Kyle Schwarber might be the Unabomber for all we know.
No more talk of that.
56 times
Enough of
last
the
year.
Unabomber.
He's the Schwarber bomber. All right, what do we have on the polls? Dr.
terrible.
Avidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health, 4 hours strong in the mornings. Always thanks to him. What do we got?
Our question today, which Phillies player moved the needle, positively or negatively, the most for you on opening day? 4 options. Bohm, Crawford, J. Giromuto, or Bryce Harper. 61% still saying Justin Crawford, 25% saying Alec Bohm, and JT and Bryce only have 7% of the vote each.
I'm so
that's
proud.
good.
I'm so
I'm telling you,
proud
that was
because
like-
I think it went the right way. I think this poll's going
It was
the right
everyone was buzzing about it.
Yeah.
It was just you could hear the people, just every murmur in the crowd was just like, oh, dude, look at Justin Crawford.
And look,
What
if
is that?
Bohm, let's say it's a week, 2 weeks of it, I'm not
no.
saying home runs every game. I'm saying, like, he shows pop.
Get back to the RBI guy you've been.
Yeah.
He was their top RBI guy, and and doubles. Remember at one point he was like leading the team in doubles
It was
and
when
RBI.
he was in the All-Star game.
And it was the All-Star game was a surprise because it was like, wait, he can hit home runs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He had a home run derby.
Well, he had the glass
Wild.
jug of water.
Yes, that's right.
Woulda.
The Wooder, yeah, because Bryce was part
Bryce
of that.
told him, hey,
He had
good
to-
way to pander.
He had to sit there for it. All right, here are
He
some.
needed a little pandering though after the whole. I love it here.
I love the
Yeah,
fact
he
that
needed a bit of it.
He needed a little bit. He had to own that, and he did. He wore it.
And he did. He wore it.
All right, let's give you some debuts. I'll go most recent before Crawford, who went 2 for 4 yesterday. Last year, your untouchable prospect for like 3 starts,
Mick Abel.
Mick Abel,
The Mick.
when he outdueled Paul Skeens.
That was awesome.
6 scoreless innings, becoming the first Phillies pitcher to do that in the MLB since Jared Eichhoff.
Oh, my gosh.
Ew.
That is an ooh.
Ew.
That is an ooh.
So that was Abel. Another pitcher of note. Not that people should love him as a human being. Brett Myers, July 24th, 2002.
No. Remember, the Phillies fans cheered Brett Myers of the booed O'Double.
He went 8 innings in his major league debut. How about that? 2 hits and a win against the Cubs. Jimmy Rollins,
Oh yeah, J. Rolls was good.
his debut, September 17th, 2000.
Was it a triple?
It was. And he was wearing the number 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, I don't remember that part of it. I do remember the triple. I remember the Harry Kalas
Hold
call.
on, let me confirm this because this was before
I
he
thought he was wearing 6.
No, he eventually wore the number 6.
Yeah.
29.
2 for 4, triple, stolen base, and a walk.
29.
He wore the number 29.
Then
Then
six.
it went to 11, then 6, or
then
vice
11.
versa.
Okay.
No, 6 then 11.
6 then 11, yes.
Yeah.
Didn't Weston Wilson hit a home run?
So yeah, well that's going to be one of the moments.
Wow.
Rollins 2 for 4, triple and a stolen base. Pat Burrell that same year, May 24th, 2000. He went 2 for 5 with a double and 2 ribbies.
And met 2 blondes then.
I'm sure he did in Old City.
You already knew them.
And that was against the National League Houston Astros. Remember?
Oh yes,
Yes,
those are fun little like
Former
wrinkles.
West.
NL,
exactly.
yeah. And then Weston Wilson.
Yeah.
Amy, you bring it up.
I feel like I remember that.
That
one.
was a special day.
It was like a no hitter or something.
Michael Lorenzen no-hitter.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Castellanos' 200th career home run.
Yeah.
Weston Wilson hits the big home run, too. And as John always points out, we remember the family section very
red
well.
dress.
Big fan of the red
Amy
dress.
may not remember the red dress.
I was at the game.
We'll never forget.
I remember the game because it was Lorenzen's no hitter.
I remember Lorenzen's mom and his wife, and they're holding the baby. That was
red
like
dresses. Right?
that was
no
such
idea
a
what
beautiful
I was
moment.
literally at the game. I have no idea what you're talking about with the dress.
It went viral.
It went viral.
There were a lot of fans of
Miss
of
Mrs.
Mrs.
Weston Wilson.
Yeah, a lot of
And
people
the red
became
dress went
friendly.
very.
Poor woman.
Yeah.
No, she was getting adored on the internet. She was a lovely lady. Lovely lady.
Getting adored on the internet has never been a sentence that anybody has ever said out loud and meant it. Adored on the internet.
Oh, no, she was getting...
No. The only things that are adored on the internet are like puppies
But Amy,
and cats.
there's nobody...
and pandas.
There was nobody
And the baby
saying,
monkey out there in Japan. That's it. Those are the only things that are adored.
There was nobody saying, boy, that's an unattractive woman.
That's not
was
adored,
saying,
though.
Everybody was saying that is a beautiful lady.
I'm sure that's what they were saying.
I'm sure there was.
Oh, no, they were.
I will say there was probably some weird comments.
Yes, there were.
I'm sure there were at
It's
least
the internet.
a few weird comments.
It's the internet.
Not as weird as the men that had to be removed yesterday from taking pictures of Libby Dunn.
Yeah, that's weird. Like
grown men.
Go home.
And by the way, all of them look like they need a treadmill. Get on it, please, dudes.
Close look at the Libby Dunn.
Exactly. Libby's not looking at you.
All right, so Justin Crawford, him penciling in at center field is very exciting. It also, if he can continue to play, I'm not saying hit 500, but if he can show that he can play every single day, it opens the door for the Phillies to do other things if they need to make additions, right? Not that I'm trying to trade Brandon Marsh right now. He had 2 hits yesterday, 2 doubles yesterday.
I don't think much of a market.
We'll see Otto Kemp on Sunday when they face Mackenzie Gore. So we'll get Kempomania on Sunday.
That's worth the price.
But if Justin Crawford is what people expect him to be, that guy that can hit around 280 and just play a solid center field, that's not the position. That's a position that you're not looking for in the market, which, by the way, you have been looking for the last 4 years.
You got to check that off because that was the big, Harrison Bader was a great sign up last year or trade last year at center field because you thought, wow, here's a guy that can get to the balls and gets the bat on the ball, hit for average, could drive in a couple of runs. The dearth, as far as like the power out there, it's going to have to come from the right fielder. We know that. But if you can get something from everyone else, I think it could make up a huge difference. There was like one of the poorest power hitting outfields in all of baseball.
I think they were last. If
they
not
were.
them, it was the White Sox.
And
which is like, stop it.
That's where you want to be.
That's
why
your bar.
Worries about
a team
Nori.
that's trying to lose.
And that's where the worry comes with Nori, is that could the Phillies have Crawford and then have Nori in their outfield and have 2 young, talented players that would be here for years to come, but no power.
Yeah, no power. You need to get it from somewhere. And that's why, not to bring up the Alec Bohm thing, like you need to get it at certain positions. And there are positions where
corner
it's like,
infield, you're expecting
corner infield, you expect it, and corner outfield. And the corners are a little light. You know, Harper's going to get his around 30, you hope. Garcia, we'll see.
We'll see.
And then the other side.
What did Garcia have last year? 19?
Yeah, he didn't
20?
even reach 20 last year. You got to hope that there's a resurgence.
Yeah, you got to get 10 more
honorary corner guy. Can we count?
He's a left fielder.
Just rope him in just to make.
I love seeing him play left field.
I expect my DH to hit. Like
he's saying he's a left fielder.
Well, you see some teams like the Texas Rangers had 39-year-old Andrew McCutchen batting 5th and DHing. So everyone who's worried about like
he's
the Phil's
platooning
lineup
with the Jock Peterson is going to be the against right-handed pitch.
There's one more thing with the outfield too, because Brandon Marsh made that nice play up against the left field wall yesterday in the late innings. There was a point where I was sitting there next to Colin Newby in the box, our own Colin Newby, and we were chatting about the outfield. This defense in the outfield, when it's Crawford, Marsh, Garcia,
it's going to cover a lot of ground.
They're pretty damn good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Garcia's a tremendous outfielder, and Crawford just needs to get comfortable with the ballpark. The ball that went to the center field wall, it would have been a tough play, but I think he misread it. He's gonna get used to it.
The one that bowled it off the ball.
Yeah, that was his first game at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, I don't want to see the kid Aaron Rowan himself on opening day.
Yeah, no, we don't need.
Right,
we don't need
we're all
that.
good with that.
We don't need that. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line, Connor? You can text the show at 610-632-0975. Been a lot of reacting to opening day, celebrating opening day, but are you going to allow yourself to not lose your mind? Are you going to allow yourself to just enjoy yourself? Amy heard cuss words. Amy heard pirate sailor mouth yesterday. That's ridiculous.
Barnacle Bill was in her section.
Opening day, man. What do we got?
Now, it's not just the Davis Honda text line. We also get voice memos. And we have Mike from Bristol who sent in a voice memo for us today. Here's what he had to say.
Hey, guys. It's Mike from Bristol. Great night with you guys a couple nights ago at the knockout tournament. Just wanted to check in about the Phillies real quick. Last night was definitely was very nice to see. Justin Crawford, I think, is going to be a huge difference maker, making all those plays in the middle of the field, getting all those hits for us in that 9 hole is amazing. He's going to end up being cleanup hitter or 5 spot by the end of the season. I'm sure he's going to play out of his mind, I believe. Schwarber, obviously, off home run immediately. Alec Bohm with a big home run. I really feel like these guys are coming in their own. They're a little older, but I think they're pushing for it this year. I think they really want it.
Okay.
I agree with everything but the Crawford.
Yeah, you can't. He's not cleanup.
No, he'll never be a cleanup hitter.
Part of me thinks that was tongue-in-cheek, I hope.
Is he going to be? Do you see him being a leadoff hitter someday?
I mean, here's a guy. Someday. I mean, not right now.
No, I mean, if it's
but
trajectory.
he's a guy that you would strongly consider batting first, given the way that he's going to be able to run and create, that kind of excitement on the base pass. You want someone to get on base, which he's fully capable of doing. We've seen that before.
Oh yeah.
At the AAA level in his debut. Obviously, it's one game, but it's showing that he's going to be able to get on base and then be able to run and create that kind of excitement and the energy. Having a guy on first base that has a threat to steal is a huge draw for both the offense, but then think about the pressure it puts on that pitcher. Yeah. You mentioned it, like, does he give up a cookie to Alec Bohm because he's worried about the guy jumping around on first?
Like, that's big. Like, how's that?
It was Stott got the steal yesterday, right?
Yes, his 100th career.
How about that?
Very good.
Congratulations.
Underrated part of his game. He's a good base stealer.
Yes, he is.
Right. Got a good club.
All right, coming up next. Amy's here, Johnny.
Sure am.
She is.
We got to bring up the Sixers.
We do.
157 points the other night.
Yep.
JoJo, PG, they're back. Is she setting herself up for pain just like me?
She sure is.
We'll talk about it next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
best Washington College guy to produce. Charity comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
It is 8:46 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's just keep the conversation going on the air, Amy. We were talking about Justin Edwards and what he's been doing for the Sixers recently. A guy that, Johnny, you and I talked about this at the game the other night. He's long. He can shoot.
Yes.
He can drive. He can play decent defense.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason at the beginning of the season, much like Jared McCain, much like Isaiah Joe in years past, they didn't play him. And last year, they converted his contract. So I was like, why?
They gave him an actual contract. He had a 2-year contract.
Right,
they converted it, and then they gave him a contract.
And he just wasn't playing at the beginning of the season.
I mean, Nick Nurse speaks very highly of him. He talks about he doesn't have to worry if when he calls Justin Edwards' number, he's going to be ready and he's going to go out there and be what they need him. He is a stat stuffer. His stat lines are always very, littered with everything. They have steals, they have rebounds, they have assists. Obviously, he's a three-point shooter, but if his three-point shot, there was a game, maybe not last game, but the game before, where his three-point shot wasn't falling. So he had, I think it was 7 of his shots went in. They were 2-pointers, which shows you that he can drive, so he can score at the different levels of it. It was interesting that it took, the stat that I was just talking about off air with Andrew was they had 25 games without Paul George, right? 19 of those were missed by Joel Embiid. 9 of them were missed by Tyrese Maxey. In the 25, they went 13-12.
That's amazing.
You can't undersell that. That's the reason you're even in the conversation right now, because you could have absolutely cratered.
Could have bottomed out.
Right? 19 games missing Joel Embiid and Paul George, and then you're looking at 9 additional games where you're missing those guys as well, or Tyrese Maxey as well. It's Justin Edwards. That's a huge reason. Now, there's other guys that stepped up. Kelly Oubre was obviously a part of those. He only missed a handful.
And the schedule, they benefited from the schedule.
So you're playing like the Jazz and stuff. But I mean,
they blew games though to some
they lost to the
teams.
Pelicans.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But you won some games. That Portland Trailblazers game is going to go down as one of the better wins. It's a good Trailblazers team. I know you look at the standings. The West is much better. That's a team that's trying to win, and you had no one in that game, and you won it. That was a very good game. So I think that Justin Edwards should get a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. Dembono's been big in that those spots, but I think Edwards is a player. I was glad to see when the full complement, or at least most of the complement, came back, meaning Paul George and Joel Embiid, that you still saw Justin Edwards out there, because Coach said it weeks ago. This is a guy that I would play at least 8 to 10 minutes. If you just find some minutes for him, get him out there.
See if he gets a spark. And that's the point of bench
You need that
scoring.
microwave scorer. You need a guy to be able to come in, get you 12 to 15 minutes, and then drop 10 points. You have to have that guy.
By the way, you mentioned Bona. I'm very critical of him. It's more so the Sixers organization, because they can't get a freaking backup center ever. Something we didn't talk about yesterday. He came out onto the court, knockout night. He took a picture with a bunch of kids. There was like some sort of event where a bunch of kids were there. And then any kid that was in line during knockout, he was open to the kid quickly running over and getting a picture with him. And I
nice.
love that.
That's big.
Stuff like that.
Good stuff.
It's not the person that I'm critical of. It's the player. But when I see stuff like that, I always go, that's
people
awesome.
that get
Good for
it,
you.
because those are memories for those kids that they're going to go on forever.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
will think about that forever.
So are you setting yourself up for pain?
Absolutely.
Why not?
I'm here for it.
Well, she has to be here, remember.
Well, yeah, I have to be here, but I don't have to be like, I don't have to. I got so, maybe I was just like, I don't know, stars in my eyes when Joel Embiid comes back, drops 35 points in 28 minutes.
Barely trying. He's walking up the court. He's like,
no, it was, I couldn't believe it the other night.
You can, though. This is a guy that after he dropped 70, he said he was only at 75%. Yeah. Like this, it's wild how good he is.
He shuffled his feet up the court, and then, sure, I'll drop 15 in the first.
Oh, you want me to dunk? I'll dunk.
I'll do that.
I'll
Why
do that
not?
too.
So
you want 7 assists?
So he was.
I got you.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, as I say, he was totally fine.
I don't think he's totally fine.
No, but he was totally fine that night. The way you saw him go, you're going, okay, so he wasn't available to play the other night?
No, I think the oblique injury still bothers him, because if you saw him post game, he still has when he raises it up, he still feels it.
He's probably
now,
gonna wrap.
I imagine there's wrap and icy hot and all the other stuff. It's definitely one of those injuries. It's going to be sneezing and coughing, things we've all had. If you pull, anybody's ever had a rib injury, it's that same kind of vibe. So you feel it. But I think that, I don't know. 35 points, not even trying. Yes, it's the Bulls, but let's go.
They're a half game back of the Raptors, who are continue to lose.
Yeah.
They're a full game back of the Hawks for the 5th seed. So look, even if you don't think they catch the Hawks, which they clearly can,
They absolutely
you can get to the 6th
they had
seed.
to surpass the Hawks because the Hawks have the
tiebreaker.
right.
Yeah,
But I think that 6th seed is there for the taking.
6th seed is absolutely there for the taking, and that would be great because then they don't have to deal with the play-in, which is something that we would all want. And then you just lock in for a series. If they finish as the 6th seed, they would be playing the Knicks in the first round. It's funny.
It's fun.
We talk about the pain. I'm listening to Middays
That's
with
pain
Marks.
right there.
It is. But I'm listening to Middays with Marks yesterday, and Johnny Marks is all fired up. I loved it. And I hear Sean Brace going, I heard Andrew this morning, and he was doing the same thing. Like, if Embiid's healthy, and if this guy's healthy, and this guy's healthy. But I heard Sean Brace like a month ago or 2 months ago saying that they are a team that could go to the championship.
Yes.
And it's like, screw it, dude. Like, just set yourself up for pain.
Just do it.
Just
Lock
you gotta
in.
do it now.
Yeah, at this point, what else are you gonna? You're used to it at this point.
And that's the thing.
It's
It's like
picking off a scab.
the answer is like, what do you have to lose? Everything. Like you have every other year. Like just get involved, get invested. You know probably what's going to happen, and you think in your mind, but enjoy while it's there. Like I don't know.
I'm so happy to think that we could have. We love when we have content in the morning.
Yes.
From the night before. And it's selfish. But the thing is, I always think that the people then who come to the table to hang out with us, they're the same people. They're saying the same things we do. We'll take 2 extra weeks of Sixers
I would
basketball.
love that.
Absolutely.
If not more.
And more importantly, I want it for VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah,
I want it for
another
Tyrese
thing.
Maxey. I want it for all of them.
I feel like if you're trying to build, which is what the Sixers are doing, they're trying to build winners, right? Trying to build a championship team. Getting the experience of playing in the postseason is invaluable.
Yep.
Yes, you can look up and try to. We played this game earlier in this week. It was about like, hey, if you line up the 8th seed, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That 8th seed is like just a default team. That's a team that you can't line up the 8th seed the way the play-in tournament is.
I'm just going to apologize in advance that I will be doing that. It will be my
you can't
life's
line
mission.
up the 8th seed.
Yes, it will be my life's mission.
You're
If
trying to lose and then
Detroit's
win?
the 1 seed, I am going to absolutely.
Well, Detroit will be the 1 seed. I don't know how mathematically.
Well, that I am absolutely going
still
to be
winning.
rooting to be the 8th seed.
You can't.
I know you. No, I know it. It defies
Don't do
logic,
that.
Amy. But I'm
I
going
root to be the
do that.
5 seed so that you could take down the Cavs in
Yeah, but
round
then
one.
you
I would enjoy that.
But then you get.
I think you can get that one.
You can get that. Well, 4-5 plays 1 though.
Yeah, you're playing one regardless.
Okay,
There you go.
So 4-5 plays 1.
Cade Cunningham might be back by then, but I don't know what his status is.
No, I want to play them. No, I want to play them in the 1. I want to play them right off the bat. No, so I'm not going to go with you on that one. You root for 4-5. I'll root for 8. Then we've got it all covered. And Amy just roots
You know
for
what?
law and order.
I'm not going to root for any seeding. I'm going to
Correct.
root for health.
That's the number one thing.
That's smart. How about that?
That's the number one thing.
Let's
Rooting
go
for health. And rooting for
Let's
health
go health.
has worked so well for us.
Just because it
Works
doesn't
so
pay
well
off
for
doesn't
us.
mean you don't come right back. Hey, hope springs eternal.
That's why
I go
I'm
to church.
setting myself
I go to
up
church
for
every week thinking it's going to change
All
something
right.
for me.
Will Kevin Nagandi set himself up for pain? It's been a while. There's been schedule issues, and my house exploded with sewage that one time, and illnesses, and you name it. So it's been some time since we've talked to our man Kevin Nagandi. He
Sewage.
joins us to start the 9 o'clock hour.
Sewage.
His reaction to opening day. Is he setting himself up for pain with the Sixers? We get into all things Philadelphia sports with one of our favorites coming up next. It is Kincade Salciunas. Amy with us here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A strong start to the year. I'm Connor Thomas. And the Phillies started off their season 1-0 yesterday, beating the Texas Rangers by a score of 5-3 on opening day at the bank. Christopher Sanchez, a huge part of that victory. 6 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts for him on the mound. He gets his first win of the year. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both got their first home runs of the year in the win. And Justin Crawford had 2 hits in his major league debut. Crawford caught up with John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia after the game, talked about the moment.
I felt good, obviously, the little jitters before every game. But once the game got rolling, I was able to kind of just click into this baseball, go play. And thankfully, I was able to kind of put a good swing on a couple balls. A day that I'll remember the rest of my life.
Phillies are off today, so they'll have some time to remember the opening day victory. They play Game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow at 4:05. Flyers took down the Blackhawks 5-1 last night. The offense really got going in that one. They face the Red Wings tomorrow night in a big game for the postseason push. The Sixers face the Hornets tomorrow as well. It's a busy Saturday for Philadelphia sports. Amy Fedul remains with us for the remainder of the show. Kevin Nagandi joins us coming up next, and Scott Lauber of the Inquirer will give us a call at 9:30 to talk about opening day and his reaction. This update is brought to you by Uber Eats. Philly, you hungry? Good thing Uber Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Coco's Cookies and Creamery from now till March 31st. Get a buy one, get one free deal on a milkshake all on the Uber Eats app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
On Kincade and Salciunas.
What I would rather do today is focus on the good from yesterday. Like Christopher freaking Sanchez, who just walks out on the mound and goes, yeah, I'll give you 6 solid innings. Oh, 6 shutout innings. I'm only going to give 3 hits, and 2 of them will be in the first inning, and then I'm only going to allow 1 the rest of my outing, and I'm going to strike out 10 in the process.
You could have a double-headed ace, which is wild.
How about being excited about a rookie making his debut yesterday?
I think that was the thing I was most excited about.
Justin Crawford, 2 for 4, scores a run yesterday. It was on the home run by Kyle Schwarber. And the first hit was on the very first pitch. He didn't want to wait a second. He saw a fastball. He swung. Boom, right up the middle, base hit, and right away you go, all right, this guy belongs. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to hit 500 this year, but he belongs in Major League Baseball.
I've been waiting to have young talent come up here, ascending talent, and pencil it in. 148 games of him.
That's the best
Something
part.
like that.
Pencil in, set it, and forget it. Like, you're not asking him to bat first or second. You're asking him to bat 9th.
I was thinking, too, is that's the biggest benefit, is just saying, how does he open up the top of the lineup by contributing something steady at the bottom of the lineup? Because if he can get on base and potentially steal a couple bases, what does that do for Turner? What does that do for Harper? That's the exciting part of it, is just the lengthening out of this lineup, but really sort of creating for the top of the lineup.
Now back to the show.
All right, that's some of what we've gotten into today. As you can imagine, reacting to opening day for the Phillies yesterday, starting the season 1-0. The road to 162-0 is still clear, Johnny. There's still a possibility.
Scott Fransky uses the same joke whenever they win on opening day every year, and I love it when they do.
Oh, you mean
win.
to tell me that wasn't an original joke that I made?
No, Scott uses and what do you say, Larry? can't win them all if you don't win the first one.
Damn right. That's good.
I love that. Always puts a smile on my face because there are many times we don't win the opener.
That's a good point. It is a Friday with Fedul. Amy with us in studio. Don't forget, 9:47-ish. We do Ask Me Amy thing on Fridays. So text in any question you can think of for Amy, 610-632-0975 within reason. Any question you can think of, text it in. Connor will put them to the side. YouTube, I'll get the questions from you guys when the segment starts. But send them in now, not during the segment, 610-632-0975. Now, it's been a while, Johnny. Scheduling conflicts, sewage explosions, neuroviruses. It's been some time. We have not been able to connect with our man from ESPN, one of our favorites, the great Kevin Nagandi joins us. Kevin, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning. Great to be back with you guys.
You're laughing at sewage explosions.
Well, yeah, I mean, my house
I wasn't anticipating that as my intro.
My house had poop everywhere, Kevin. It was a horrific experience, and I forgot to text you because of it. So, it's been some time. It's great to have you back on as we are starting one of the greater times of the sports calendar with baseball starting. We're making the playoff pushes in the NHL and the NBA. We got the tournament. The draft is less than a month away. I know you're fired up about that. But let's start with the most recent thing, Kevin. Phillies opened up the season yesterday. Let's start with your overall outlook of the season before we get some of your reactions to opening day.
Well, if you see the theme of the Phillies offseason and what they did when it came to handing out long-term contracts and agreements, it was pitching. Starting pitching is the premium, and that's what we believe in. We believe the strength of this team is our rotation, of course, led by Christopher Sanchez, and I thought he was brilliant. I thought he looked really sharp, especially, 6 innings, opening day. Sometimes you got to get your feet wet, but he attacked hitters. The changeup is just fantastic. I just love his entire journey, where he was, what the Phillies did in the process to bring him into the organization, how he has earned every single level, and now how he's our bona fide ace and how he's in the discussion. It is fascinating to me on a staff that a couple years ago was headlined by Nola and Wheeler cannot wait to have him back, that Sanchez yesterday, when everything blew up with Skeens and unfortunately he got tagged with 5 earned runs, the conversation was, well, this could potentially help Sanchez down the road because those 5 earned runs play a role with ERA and in the Cy Young race. So I just think it's great, the journey that he has. So I'll start with that. It is great to see Alec Bohm go off. It's important to see that. And then to have Crawford get a couple hits in his debut, those are the small little things that could potentially play a big role. To have Turner a couple hits off the top, he'll play a critical role. All those small little things will help the guy that is the franchise piece in Bryce Harper.
The franchise piece in Bryce Harper, which is great to see. I mean, I wonder if the not elite, because we haven't gotten to talk to you about this, him wearing the not elite on his Instagram, the pressure that he's put on himself, sort of going public against Dave Dombrowski, debating Dave Dombrowski's point. Do you think he's going to put so much pressure on himself that it potentially hurts his 2027 campaign?
No, I don't think it's going to hurt him. I just want to see him have more fun. I've noticed that there's and this is all about body language, and maybe I look too much into it. I just want to see him have more fun. Bryce, I felt like Bryce the last year and a half, because the frustration of the injuries, the frustration of just not being himself. I think that to a certain point, and not getting an extension, I think all that stuff factors in, and then you go in with the conversation, right, of Dombrowski in the offseason. I think also Bryce would like to keep everything in-house. That's how he's always been. Handle the business in-house, handle it in-house, handle it in-house. That's kind of been the theme. I think that plays a role as well, but I don't know. I just want him to it'd be great to see Bryce get that hit down the right field corner and rounding second, getting into third, and then just kind of getting that emotion out. There's it feels like there's certain things with the team that he has to kind of get out a little bit more in the space. But maybe I'm looking into it too much. I'm from the outside. I'm not trying to play a sports psychologist, but suddenly I am.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you hit the nail on the head, though. Enjoyment is, if you feel good, you're going to play good, you're going to play a little bit freer. And I think he has put that pressure on himself. But you have to talk a little bit about some of the pressure that the other guys might be feeling. Justin Crawford and the pressure that I would have thought a guy like that would have felt, given the fact that everybody kept calling for him to come up last year and to have that kind of debut. There's a lot you can take away from that as far as answering that kind of bell. I don't think he's going to bat 500 for the rest of the season, but I do think he's going to be a reliable bat in the outfield. And the outfield has been a problem for the Phillies the last couple of years as far as consistent bats. Certainly power we know, but expectations just for him and that outfield.
I mean, I'm glad you brought up Justin and what he did. How I view Justin is, listen, he's the son of a Major League Baseball player who was darn good. Carl Crawford was really, really good, especially in his heyday, where he utilized speed and, a little pop. All I want from Justin is, hey, just do whatever you got to do. Batting ninth, there's no expectations. Get comfortable. I think that when we look at Crawford and Painter, they are cornerstones of what this team's going to be in 3 to 5 years. So there's no pressure on them. Find a way, especially in April, March, and June, right, where you're finding your way. You see pitchers a second time. Enough, footage gets out there on how to handle you, where there's a scouting report. I think all that stuff has to play a role. But the one thing I want from Justin, and I brought it up with Bryce, is have fun, man. Add some juice in that clubhouse and have fun. And I think it could be infectious with everybody else. And it felt like yesterday was, hey, my man's having fun and he's delivering in a moment. I think he had like 40 family and friends there. There's nothing better than that experience on opening day, just to carry that momentum, because you're going to, go through some slumps. But to me, more than anything else, just be consistent with the speed, the defense, and providing some energy. And if you can get on base and let that top of the lineup do what it has to do, I think then you can extend innings.
Kevin, we're on the same page, man.
We've been talking about that.
We've been talking about the lack of seasoning, a lot of just boiled chicken, baked chicken on the Phillies the last couple of years, and I'm not talking about how people look. I'm talking about bland. Going to the ballpark, this is our job. No, it's a kid's game. Have some freaking fun. Yeah. And I was hoping that Bryce Harper's experience at the World Baseball Classic, the great article from Jeff Passan where he kind of realized, wow, look at what these other countries are doing during baseball games. It's not so much come to work and do your job. It's you can also have fun doing this. And you hope that kind of changes things for the Phillies, because it's a long season. They can't just live with the mentality of we have to win a World Series or we're failures.
I think it's 100% appropriate. I think that's why a lot of people were kind of attracted to Harrison Bader last year, right? He brought a little flair and juice to a clubhouse that can be a little bit too much like, hey, strictly business, which you kind of have to do over 6 months of the monotony of coming in and out and checking in, and you don't want to get too emotionally high or low, but sometimes you kind of need juice, right? You need the seasoning. You need some flavor and pop. And I think it's important. Running it back is something I'm always against, because if you can bring an infusion of people that say, this is pretty cool what we're doing, I think it reminds everybody. I'm guilty of it. I think you guys are guilty of it. What we all do in this media space is, I think people, who listen, who follow and watch on TV would be like, man, that's a cool job. But sometimes we take it for granted. And I think sometimes when you do something every single day and you've got to kind of say, show up to work. What's the routine? What's the routine? You forget the perspective, right? So I'm with you guys. I'm 100% with you guys on the idea that bringing a little bit of juice and flair and, the idea that let's have some fun. There's a reality to all this that people would switch spots with us in a moment's notice.
How much fun are you having with the winter teams, the two winter teams, Sixers and Flyers?
Oh, boy. Not a lot of fun. It's been tough. But again, when I watch VJ, I have a heck of a lot of fun. Every time I watch Tyrese,
that's it.
I have a lot of fun. Watching Joel the other night, it makes you like just, oh man.
Yep.
To me though, I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting myself with the Sixers. I go in with no expectations. I come out and say, all right, let's see what happens. And I think we're better off doing that. The Flyers, the thing that there's just something missing, and I think it drives the fan base crazy. There's something that has been missing for some time, and it's the theme. There's a juice that's missing, and you saw that with Torts, and I think Torts came in and he had to do what he had to do because he had to clean up some messes.
Yes.
But it's carried over right now. There's no juice right now. You have moments, but there's not the juice that, hey, tonight there's appointment television. There's an appointment. I've got to be, in the arena to watch something. And I think that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, there hasn't been that consistency where you have that faith of, well, this is going to at least be, they're going to be in it. It feels like it's either they're going to win 4-1 or lose 5-0. Like it's so backwards. And it was disappointing, the game earlier this week against the Blue Jackets, I thought, because that was a must-win, I feel like, for them. And the Sixers, we're all in must-win territory. They have two big games coming up, Hornets and Heat. They don't have the tiebreaker against either of those teams, and those are teams that have been playing very well. And you're looking at, it's come down to this, right? 9 games to go, and we're sitting here we're trying to win a game against the Heat and the Hornets. But that's how it's gone. And it's so funny that when they're all healthy, it would be no question, right? Kevin is like, oh, yeah, Paul George is out here and Joel Embiid's dropping 35 and Tyrese Maxey is the all-star and VJ Edgecombe is, one of the top rookies. But it just hasn't come together, and I think that's where the frustration lies. At least they'll make some noise. They're going to get to the postseason. I think that's important. But I'm with you. It's kind of like reserving judgment. Just try to enjoy it because you don't know how long it's going to last, right?
Yeah, and the reality is, when they're all healthy, I mean, ... right? Like, everybody understands that, and I'm 100% with you, Amy, on that, because it just makes you wonder what could have been. But, man, let's just pause here. If we get outside the Philadelphia bubble, I mean, the East is pretty decent. The Hornets have been playing really well. The Concanipo factor there's juice right there. It's the one theme in this whole conversation, right? Mm-hmm. He's been fantastic. I mean, he's going to win Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg, right? That says a hell of a lot and what he can do. But then when you look at the reality of Boston being who they are and understanding who they are, now they have Tatum coming back, where the Cavaliers are, where Detroit has been now dealing with the Cade Cunninghams, just have fun and go in with no if we could ruin somebody else's postseason, I haven't even brought up the Knicks, then great. But if we go in with no expectations for this postseason, I think we're better off because the reality is when you look at the East, it's not going to be easy. Holy cow, the West. I mean, forget about it.
Yeah, it's out of control. The West is out of control.
I can't wait to watch those playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be great. The West is loaded.
All right.
The West is insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Like I was talking about that Trailblazers team, and everybody's like, they're not good. I'm like, watch them.
Yes.
That is a very good team that's sitting in 9th or 10th out there, and it's because they're the West. It's very good.
All right, Kev, before we let you go, I saw it yesterday. So remember, Kevin Negandhi last year told us that there was going to be a baseball card of his when he threw the first pitch out in Seattle. I thought you were being given the card, Kevin. I did not know that this was going to be in a pack. Can you tell the story about the one-of-one Kevin Negandhi Topps card?
Yeah, so Topps issued a card, and I threw out the first pitch. And remember, and I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew, about me asking you guys, should I go with it? Well, the Mariners asked me to throw out the first pitch, so I went with it. I leaned into it. And then what they asked me to do is sign 150 cards. And they come in like different, there's the white, there's which is the base card. I signed about 50 of them. And then you have limited ones. Like there's the black card, which is I think 10. There's the red, which is 5. There's the orange, which is 25. I think there's a gold base at 25 or 50. And then there's the one-of-one foil fractor. Again, one of one. It's a gorgeous-looking card. If you ever seen it, it shines. And they have these foil fractors for the sets of whoever's signing them. So I wrote on the card, if you get this, I autographed it, message me, let's do a trade. And pretty cool story that, and it couldn't have fallen in the better hands than a father-son, a 15-year-old from Iowa, opening up packs with his dad. And they stumbled upon it. They reached out to me. We had the young man on social media reach out, and then he was on SportsCenter yesterday, and then we tried to do a trade. Now the trade it was all in tongue in cheek. Like I offered him like some ESPN gear, and he likes Ellie De La Cruz, and I said okay, so we are going to extend this outside of linear TV on social media. He wants an Ellie De La Cruz card, so I'm going to go search for one.
That's awesome.
And see what else I can give him as a package, because we're going to add to this to have fun, and then we're going to do a trade. But like we had him on yesterday, and it was great. Him and his dad, and he explained the story. He told me his favorite teams, and then the search will begin for me, so I get enough stuff on my end to go get that one of one back because my daughter wants it in the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody in the Philadelphia area finds an Ellie De La Cruz, maybe we can continue this. And now you're going to be Howie Roseman, and you're going to be making like 18 deals. But if somebody has an Ellie De La Cruz card, you got to hit up Kevin.
Absolutely. An Ellie De La Cruz rookie card, auto, patch card, graded. Just find me on social media at Kevin Nagandi, and we can work out a deal as well. And then I'll pull the Howie. I'll make multiple trades, and then, I'll find a way to get it under the cap.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go. Kevin, listen, man, we appreciate the time as always. Good to have you back on. We'll talk to you next week as long as my house doesn't explode with more sewage and I forget to text you.
Thanks, Kev.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Good stuff.
There's Kevin Nagandi.
That's an amazing.
So I saw the story last night.
That's great.
His father-son, they're in Iowa. They're Cubs fans, and
I was going to say I was thought Cubs. I would have thought Cubs.
Dad's wearing a Cubs shirt during the video, and they pulled the card, and it's signed like his Sharpie. It says, "I want this card back. Message me at Kevin Nagandi," and then it's his signature.
That's awesome.
And somebody found it.
Okay. That's
also,
awesome.
I love that there's like a father-son. I'm like, hey, because we always have to buy cards when we're at the ballpark and open them up. Like, that's just great.
Is Strom still doing that rain delay show?
Yeah.
Probably for the Kansas City Royals.
I wonder if they he's still going to do
I'm
that
sure.
thing.
He's a big card guy.
Oh, no.
He got like other guys back into it, which I think is really cool.
Which is fun.
Did he pitch yesterday? No debut yet.
No debut
for
yet.
Matthew Strom.
I get to drive.
He's Matthew now.
What?
Oh, he is?
No, he's not.
No, that's what I'm calling.
Oh, I was I drive by. He donated a lot of money to the Nell to Newtown Edgemont Little League.
Oh, he
the
did.
entire facility is like he basically donated the entire.
Really?
They've got
He
a
was
challenger
great.
program.
He
It's
mentioned
great.
them in his goodbye letter.
Yeah, that was one of the so he he couldn't use the glove during the All-Star game. It was like all the signatures.
Yeah, that's
Part of the
That was from
challenger
Newtown
program.
Edgemont?
It's
Really?
the challenger program for kids with alternate disabilities.
awesome.
But also the overall Newtown Edgemont Little League. It's a fantastic facility. We've been by there. We've played there. And you walk in, and it's just like Matt Strom Field. I was like, there's not. I think it says Strom, and I was like, what are the chances there's another? So of course I Google it. And he gave like a lot of money.
Yeah.
But no one ever talks about it. I am now.
I'm not going to say.
He's another one of those guys where I'm very
like
critical
the person,
of, and I'm like,
not the player.
You
Damn
like
it, he's
the
such a
person,
good
right.
dude, man.
Yeah, it's good.
He had his moments here.
Good thing about Matt Strom Field is the games are over after the 6th inning. So you don't have to.
That's a good point.
You know,
That's a
you
good
don't have to
joke.
put
I
him-
was like,
you don't have to
what?
put him in.
That's good. That's a
He
good
doesn't
one,
have to.
Johnny.
He doesn't have to go into the games.
You just got the Oscar
He just
music. You just got
supports
the
them.
Oscar music.
Yeah, they played you off.
Supports them.
The hook's coming next.
Yeah.
All right. No, what's coming next is Scott Lauber.
That's correct.
Scott Lauber of the Inquirer. Don't forget, Ask Me Anything, 947. Text in your questions, 610-632-0975. Do it now so Connor can have them. YouTube, you'll hit us up during the segment because I could see that in live action. So text your Ask Me Anything questions coming up. Scott Lauber, he was at the ballpark yesterday. I saw him in passing. Phillies opening day reaction, storylines moving forward. We get to that with Scott next. Kincade Salciunas with Amy here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, FanDuel Sportsbook. Tournament continues. Check them out. FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge. You can get up to $300 in bonus bets back. Here's how it works. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets. That's right, $300. So maybe last night you're like, you know what? They're probably going to lose, but let me ride with Texas. It's the fun story because I have this $300 bonus bet to use in the back of my pocket. And because Texas lost, now bang, you get $300 up to $300 in bonus bets. Take a shot at the bet you've been hesitant to make. If you win, that's great. If you lose, it's okay. You get bonus bets back. So it's a win-win. Doesn't get much better than that. You can mix things up with same-game parlays. You can lock in futures bets as well. The team that you think will win the entire tournament. What are you waiting for? Just visit FanDuel.com/local to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/local. You got to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Bonus bets are now drawable and expire 7 days at the receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phils win on opening day. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies found a win to start off their season yesterday, beating the Rangers 5-3 on opening day at the bank. Christopher Sanchez was the headliner. 6 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts in his first start of the year. A strong performance on the mound for him. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Bohm both went yard in the victory. And Justin Crawford, 2 hits in his major league debut. Alec Bohm met with media after the game, and he talked about how it's important to get that first victory out of the way.
We always joke you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. So opening day, the energy's high, and everybody's happy, everybody's clicking, and it's just a good feeling to go get the first one.
The Phils have the typical day after opening day off day today. They'll play game 2 against the Rangers tomorrow at 4:05 at the bank. The Flyers beat the Blackhawks 5-1 last night as the offense got going. They will play the Red Wings tomorrow night, a big-time game as they continue to find a late playoff push. And the Sixers have the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow night as well. A busy Saturday for Philadelphia sports. Scott Lauber will join us coming up next. He was down at the ballpark yesterday, covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. He'll have his reaction for opening day for us. This update is brought to you by the Hartford Auto Insurance. Drivers 50 and over can count on the Hartford Auto Insurance for protection that brings peace of mind. The Hartford, your protection is their passion, provided by the Hartford Insurance Group, Incorporated. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
not that bad. At least most of the time. Now let's listen to more Kincade and Salciunas before I change my mind.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to bagster.com.
All right, don't forget around 9:47, Ask Me Amy thing. Text them in, 610-632-0975. Questions for Amy, as it is a Friday with Fedul, and it's also the day after the Phillies open up the season 2026 campaign, the road to, you tell us where. Phillies get the win yesterday. They start the season 1-0, which is wonderful. And joining us now from the Inquirer, we will speak to this man a lot throughout the course of the season. We've been bothering him a lot during spring training. He's been down there. He's been around the team. From the Inquirer, our man Scott Lauber. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. Phillies start the season off 1-0, which is fantastic. Let me ask you something, Scott. So every once in a while, I was saying this to John and Connor this morning, I have to remind myself how good Christopher Sanchez is because he doesn't get the same recognition of a Paul Skeens because he kind of came from out of nowhere. When did you realize that they have something in Christopher Sanchez? And what do you think this guy's ceiling is in Major League Baseball?
It's a great question, and I completely agree with you. I referred to him in my story yesterday from the game as sort of still the best pitcher that people in baseball don't talk about enough because you're right. It's all Skeens and Scooble and Crochet, and, those are the guys that we hear so much about.
Hell, Mizorowski, the guy that beat him out for the All-Star game last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is because it's really a phenomenal story. I was talking to my colleague Lachlan March during the game yesterday, and I said, I still remember 2023 being out in Oakland, and they had gone through, Dylan Covey and Bailey Falter, and they ran through some bullpen games. Like, they had no idea what to do with that number 5 starter spot, and they were like, well, all right. It was almost like twist our arm. We'll give this Sanchez kid another shot. He's been up a couple of times, hasn't really done a whole lot, has ridden that shuttle between AAA and the big leagues. They weren't sure for a while if he was a starter or a reliever because he had trouble throwing strikes. And it was almost like, well, we're down to our last option here, and they called him up and he pitched well and he got hit in the hand by a line drive and they were like, and he was okay. And they were like, all right, we'll give him another start. And then he got another one and another one. And I guess I thought, by the end of that season, okay, maybe they have something here. But then it wasn't even until 2024 where it was like, oh, this is more than just a back-end guy. This is a guy who could really be a guy for them. And even last year, he got that start. I think he started the home opener, right, because they opened the season in Washington. And it was kind of like his turn came up, but it was also kind of like, all right, it's a nice reward for having a good year in 23 or in 24. And I really think it was at some point last year where it was like, okay, not only is he my long answer is that it's happened over time. And it went from being like, all right, he's got some staying power to, okay, he's a little bit more than a back-end guy to, oh, my gosh, this is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he's 28 years old, and he might only be getting better. So, and now he goes out there, and you expect what you would expect from any true ace, really. So it's been a remarkable thing. Rob Thompson has said it many times that he hasn't seen anyone like this kind of make this sort of improvement, and I second that. I mean, I've covered Major League Baseball for 21 years, and I don't know that I've seen a story quite like that.
Scott, do you think Bryce Harper, from what you've seen, you've watched his Phillies run, do you believe that he has the ability to maybe get back to 2023, 2022 levels?
I mean, he should, because he's 33. We're not talking about someone who's 38, 39, 40, and maybe has diminishing skills. So he should. I still think that there are prime years left for him. But, I do think that that there are some things he has to prove, right? Look, you talk to enough people around spring training and they were like, what's going on? Can he still hit? Can he still hit big-time fastball and things like that. And I thought that as the World Baseball Classic sort of wound down, he was maybe kind of finding the timing and finding the rhythm. I thought early in the WBC, it looked like he was going through spring training, which of course he was, just on a bigger scale. I thought he had a good year last year, but I think we've talked about this here, and I know I've written about this. He didn't have the Harper year because the hits were not huge hits. Like, he hits that home run in the eighth inning of the WBC final, and I was like, boy, it's been a while since we've seen a Bryce Harper moment like that. Like, I think you've got to go to maybe the Orlando Arcia game in the 2023 playoffs. Last year, there's a stat called WPA, win probability added, and it's out there. There's a stat for everything, right? And
sure.
It's supposed to measure like the importance of a particular hit within the context of a game. And sometimes that's really obvious, and sometimes it's a little less obvious, so they put a number on it. And of their 43 biggest hits last year, one of them, by WPA, one of them came from Bryce Harper, which is really un-Harper-like. So I think it was a combination of, it wasn't up to his usual standards, but also he just didn't have those moments that we're used to seeing. And I think that's really the way Bryce Harper gets judged, right? Because, at the end of the year, he's probably going to have close to, 30 homers if he stays healthy, 30-plus homers. And he's probably going to, have an OPS that's pretty good. And he's going to, I know he wants to take more walks. And so he says he's targeting 140 walks. I would tell you if he walks 100 times, that he's back to kind of taking his walks the way he normally does. But the absence of those clutch moments the last couple of years is really kind of what stood out to me, and that's what you want to see again.
We got to see some stuff in the outfield, and that was one of the question marks as far as how they were going to upgrade the outfield. Right field upgraded with Garcia over Castellanos, and then obviously we got to see Justin Crawford and the amazing debut he had. But overall, how do you look at, Scott, that outfield as far as an improvement from every corner?
Yeah, I mean that's a big question,
yeah.
And I think the jury is still very much out. I think Adolis Garcia should be an upgrade defensively for sure over Castellanos. But you don't know what you're going to get at the plate. He's been a declining hitter for the last 2 years, and people with the Rangers will tell you all about that. They saw it up close the last few years. Maybe he tried to do too much. He kind of had that huge postseason in 2023 when they won the World Series and, has not gotten back to that. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be worth watching because – look, I'm as bullish on Justin Crawford as anybody. I've been writing about it throughout spring training that I think the absence of, all this talk about ground balls and all that is kind of overblown to me when you have the kind of speed he has. I had someone tell me, look, if he hits the ball on the ground to the left side and the shortstop has to take one step away from first base, he's going to be safe. And so what's the big deal if he hits balls on the ground? Or what's the big deal if he's could be more of a slasher, at the plate than, let's say, a launch angle guy? But he's also 22 and he's a rookie. And so it's unfair to say, Justin Crawford's going to instantly make the outfield better. I think if he bats ninth and brings some energy at the bottom of the lineup and plays good defense, then he's done what they want him to do as a rookie this year. So a lot of it's going to fall on Garcia. A lot of it's going to fall on Brandon Marsh to take another step forward in his career. Can he do that? Has he reached his ceiling? I don't know. And I think the answer to those questions are going to determine whether they're active at the trade deadline in trying to find an outfielder again, like they were last year with Bader and like they have been in previous years. There was that one year where they opted not to get an outfielder because they thought Johan Rojas was their answer. It didn't turn out that way. So I think Marsh and Garcia are going to kind of be the determining factor for how active they're going to have to be looking for another hitter.
All right, Scott, last thing. Obviously, you don't want to overreact to one game, but what do the Phillies want from JT Realmuto offensively this season? We know what he can do behind the dish, but he got a 3-year, $45 million contract. That's a lot of money for just what you can do behind the plate. What do the Phillies want out of JT this year in the 8-hole?
well, I think the fact that he batted eighth kind of tells you that, the expectation for him at the plate is not what it once was. And that's not to say he's like a zero or anything like that. I think that they still expect that he's going to be an average to above average hitting catcher. Now, the bar is low for catchers, especially these days. But, I think the fact that he's not hitting in the middle of the lineup anymore tells you that, they're not looking for quite as much from him at the plate as they have in the past. He's 35. He is going to play a lot. He's probably going to be, every year I look at the list, right? Like how many guys at, his age play 120 games anymore behind the plate. And it's always been, regardless of the age, when he was 32, we looked. And when he was 33, we looked. And when he was 34, and it's always like a handful, and it gets a little smaller every year. So if he's going to carry that load behind the plate again, which he is, I think the job is still mainly to, help the pitchers navigate a game and call a game. And, I think there's going to be an impact that he's going to have on the challenge, the ABS system, where he was very good at that in spring training. And I think he has a very good sense of that. I think that's where still the bulk of his value comes, is from his volume behind the plate and his value behind the plate. And then what they get from him offensively, I wouldn't say it's gravy, but, I think the fact that he's hitting lower in the lineup now tells you that he's just not a focal point of the offense the way maybe he once was. But I think they feel like the defense and the game calling and the leadership on the field is going to bring the majority of that value.
That's a lot of money for a very specific thing. Scott, we appreciate the time. We will continue to talk to you throughout the course of the season.
Thanks, Scott.
We'll do that again soon. Thanks, Scott.
Of course, anytime. Thanks, guys.
Scott Lauber. Yeah, 3 for 45 for. He handles the pitching staff.
It's an important part.
I'm not saying it's not important, but 3 for 45, like that's top of market catcher money, and some catchers do more than just handle rotation.
Yeah, but 3 Cy Young caliber starters and an all-world reliever in the closing
I saw
spot.
somebody put this out there on social media, and I know how highly the pitchers speak of him, but somebody was like, do you mean to tell me that they're that much better because of JT back there?
He's a signal caller.
No, he's very good, but the pitcher, it's not like Christopher Sanchez won't have that changeup.
Right. I think in certain scenarios he's going to be a little bit more beneficial because it's scenario.
Absolutely adds value.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He adds value.
3 for 45, though.
Those guys they have great stuff.
Yeah, they were gonna. They'd be good.
They'd be great with other pitching coaches.
You have to know when to use it. You have to know when to use it, though.
That's true. All right, coming up next, Ask Me Anything. YouTube's buzzing. Lots of questions.
Oh,
Connor will handle the text line. We do that next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
From the city that
Guys, make sure you tune in Middays with Marks. You guessed it with me, John Marks. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. Let's get back to more of Kincade and Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes, Middays with Marks is coming your way at 10 o'clock.
They're huddling up right now.
Damn right they are. Johnny Marks, Sean Brace, Ray Dunn in the building at Citizens Bank Park yesterday. Again,
Of course.
I'm telling you, I said it earlier, Johnny. He is Wall Street for StubHub. This guy knows when to buy. He reads the markets. He goes, I'm going to wait. And if I don't get a ticket, I just hang out around Stateside Live and drink beers all day.
Yeah,
or I get a ticket for much cheaper last minute, and then I go in.
How's Ray not fat? That's what I want to know.
Somebody said on our YouTube chat earlier today that he's built like a number 2 pencil.
Because he's not like Ray. Because Ray can put him away. He can do the be out and about. He could be out about 5-6 nights a week.
He walks all the places.
Yeah, he's 25 and he runs. He'll
it's
get there.
unbelievable.
I don't think he runs.
I don't think he's going to get fat.
I've seen his Strava.
That's good. That's good work. All right. It is a Friday. Amy's in studio with us. YouTube, you guys have been on fire with your questions today.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if the text line.
them all.
Here
I
we
wonder if
go.
the text line does the same. It's time now for Ask Me Anything.
Now it's time for
What else you need to know?
Ask Me Anything.
Would you like to know more?
No, ask me anything.
All right, Connor, why don't you start things off on the text line? The Davis Honda text line. Feel the Davis difference at Burlington. Davis Honda text line also provides us Ask Me Anything in terms of the questions.
Yes, they do. And we've got a couple good ones. This is Frank in Northeast Philly checking in, and he's got a 2-piece here. I'm wondering who the first professional athlete Amy ever interviewed was, and also the first athlete you interviewed when you started working here in Philly.
That's a good question. One of the first athletes I ever interviewed here in Philadelphia was Deshaun Jackson. I remember that distinctly because I walked up and I thought, this man is my height. I'm concerned for him. Turns out he's very fast, and we have a completely different athletic skill set. So he was just fine. That was because I started in January, and it was the Eagles run. I think they played the Giants in the wild card round.
Okay.
So it was that week. That was the first professional athlete I spoke to here. First professional athlete ever. Does Kentucky basketball count? Probably not. No, I talked to somebody. I was working as an intern in Lexington, and the Bengals have a training camp. It was right before I started my senior year in college, and the Bengals training camp. And so it was actually, it was the first person I ever interviewed was Marvin Lewis, which is the coach. So I'm not really an athlete.
And he went 500 that year.
Of course he did.
And every other.
And every other year. That was a team, like Chad Johnson was on the team.
Nice.
We talked to them in like the group scrum. But the very first person I ever talked to as a professional, I guess it's not an athlete, but that's Marvin Lewis would be.
All right. Well, that's cool. YouTube, if Bayless wants to know if you can name 5 top 5 empires in history.
The Roman.
Okay.
The show. The Jedi.
That's a good one.
Right, The Empire Strikes Back. So
How about the Ottoman Empire?
Ottoman.
No, that's top 5 for me.
Yeah, but you got
the state building.
He's going to be playing on
What about
Sunday.
the Byzantine? What do you
The
feel
Byzantine
about the
era. It's not really an empire.
It's an era,
Yeah,
right?
Empire.
Did they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Byzantine
I guess they're
Empire?
outside the top 5.
I'm sure there's a dynasty in there. I'll go with one of those. That's an empire, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. we'll go
All
with
right,
that.
and then
And the Ottoman.
did you ever play Mortal Kombat?
No.
Okay, because one of the questions was who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character. I didn't know if you were a Mortal Kombat.
Every time I tried to play that, I died really
Amy's
quickly.
big
All right, then who did you
GTA.
die with?
Everyone. It was awful. And my brothers had that game, and I was like, oh, this will be fun. Oh, this is awful. I am terrible at that game. I sucked at like Zelda and Super Mario after that.
That's good. All right, what do we got, Connor?
My speed.
All right, so we have a check-in here, more sports-related on this one. They say, Amy, after seeing Embiid roll out of bed, missing a month, and score 35 in 28 minutes, would you say he's the most talented player you've ever watched?
Yes, without question. It's the fact that he's able to do that, and he only started playing basketball in the last 15 years is wild. I don't think people realize how difficult that is. It's wild to me. Started playing basketball at 15 years old. He learned most of it from YouTube. I learned how to like fix things from YouTube, and that doesn't make me an no one's gonna like hire me to be their plumber any day, but I can figure it out for myself. But no, Joel Embiid is one of the most talented. He's an unstoppable scorer when he's healthy. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. It's ridiculous.
I was sitting next to John.
It's ridiculous.
It was the night of knockout, and John, you probably looked at me like I was a kid in a candy store.
Oh my gosh!
I'm like, look at him.
The strange thing is what I find frustrating. He finds
endearing
and everything.
Yeah,
and I find it going, how much
But there's a
time
lot
did
of
this- How much
frustrating-
did this man waste? I look at.
I think about that, but there's a couple athletes I think about. Allen Iverson, I have a little
I do too.
level of frustration with.
I do too.
But I still enjoy the hell out of him
I
playing.
think it's great.
You know what I mean? Like
at one point, I screamed when he reached 10 points in the first quarter in like 5 seconds.
my
I was like,
gosh.
just stay healthy.
yeah,
Please.
3 for 3 from 3. Like, stop it.
All right, what else we got on the text line?
Karate Mark checks in. He was at Knockout with us
He
the other
was.
night, and he wants to know, Amy, weekend summer getaway, not Jersey Shore. Where are you going within driving distance?
Within driving distance, can it be a short point at all? Because I love Lewis, Delaware. Big fan of Lewis, Delaware. I think it's a great little town, good little beach. We go on the Bayside. Big fan of that. If it has to not be a beach, then it would be somewhere in the mountains. My parents live near the mountains
Do they
in
have
North
hotels
Carolina.
in Louis, Delaware?
Yeah, I have
do?
hotels. Mhm.
Okay.
All right,
Absolutely do.
I have one for
Right on the
you,
beach.
as I always do, and I always try to make it life experience. So my son's in t-ball. You have is Baker in t-ball?
He is.
All right, Baker's
It
in
is
t-ball.
quick ball and t-ball.
All right.
Because we have to have 2 teams. We don't roll with one.
What is too much money to spend on a child that is starting t-ball?
I would say almost any.
Like $1?
But no, I mean, there's so many resell. There's Facebook Marketplace. There's your neighborhood type of thing where you can just be able to get by with whatever, a couple of bucks on a used bat. They don't need to. The draw of not having a used bat for the kids that are older, like all the pop's gone. Hilarious. It's t-ball, so no, you should have $20.
Guess what I saw yesterday at t-ball practice?
Not a brand new one.
If you see any sliding gloves, you need to take them out of the kids' hands because I see them in the back pockets.
I saw the Victus pencil bat.
No, you did not.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
costs
T-ball?
$180.
At T-ball?
At t-ball.
That's stupid.
$180.
I'm actually more disturbed that they make a t-ball version of that.
The coaches should shut that down.
They're going to get paid.
I know.
'Cause
Well,
some
that's
kid is
supply and
gonna say,
demand.
Daddy,
That's ridiculous.
I want that bat, and Daddy's
What-
going to
what-
say,
what
if
T-ball
it makes
kid
you
knows?
happy.
Wait until you see the hype fire bat.
No T-ball kid knows that bat. No
Oh yeah, they do.
T-ball kid.
Oh yeah, they
You
do.
bring him to
A
a
T-ball
no.
kid?
I took
They're
Coop.
5-year-old.
I took Coop to Dick's Sporting Goods because we needed to
They
get
see 'em
baseball
all.
pants.
It looks
right?
like a pencil. They
He
love
saw.
that stuff.
He thought it was hilarious.
Oh, okay.
And
he
I
saw it in
was,
the store.
and I said to him,
Looks like a
"You're
pencil."
using whatever's
No, I
in
know,
the
I see
bag.
him.
Yeah.
I don't care if that thing's 15 years
When we
old."
were growing up, it was whose bat are you using? I don't know. There's 15 bats lined up.
Right,
Pick
yeah.
one of those.
Grab a
Which one?
helmet,
swing
grab a
it,
bat,
go crazy.
go for
Yeah,
it.
the Metal Easton that had like 4 dents
Exactly.
in it.
Yeah,
Alex,
man.
get your
Go get it,
monogram.
Timmy.
Get your monogram bag, Chad,
Oh, I saw a couple.
and pick it up. Your initials are on it.
Yeah.
Christy said, "Should we get him like a backpack?" I said, "Here's his backpack. My left hand and my right
There
hand.
it is.
I will carry them."
If you need
for
one, we've
him."
got a couple extra ones.
Can we get it monogrammed? No, Mom, you can't.
All right, everybody have a great
Good
weekend.
stuff, everyone.
See you on
Amy,
Tuesday,
thank
Amy.
you as always.
See you guys Tuesday. Have a good weekend.
We have baseball this weekend. Not today. Baseball this weekend,
No.
though. But Middays with Marks comes your way next. We'll talk to you later.
Now on 97.